employees. I'm going to the platform. I am one of all employees. I'm going to the platform. All employees. All employees. Repeat, all employees. All employees. Repeat, I am one of all employees. I'm going to the platform. I am one of all employees. I'm going to the platform. All employees.
Yo, what up, what up, what up? What's good, everybody? We have we have a lot of things to do today. Holy shit, really. Guys, we have a lot to go through today. Oh my god, it's gonna be very entertaining to say the least. And we just got a hypno raid in the building. Hold on, let me get on camera, brother. Let me get on camera, good brother. What is up, guys? Yes, we got a fucking hypno raid, baby. I was just watching Hypno stream. Yo, Hypno killed me when he was like, "I live in your heart." I was like, "Oh my god." Yeah, Leo, I'm on my villain arc officially. official villain arc. I'm doing every obnoxious thing that I can think of in order to communicate this. That it has begun. Sideways cap, the one fucking dangling earring, just one. One, can't be two, just one. And it's on the left hand side, so it's more malicious than it is gay. It was on the right hand side, it'd be gay. So it's definitely more malicious. Got the obnoxious bling, just on my full on fucking villain arc, okay? Straight up. Straight up. There will be no survivors. Got the Magneto tee on deck. I mean, am I giving it away or what? I mean, I'm giving the whole fucking thing away. What's good, Schizosaurus, Dylan, Leo, Lowest? Tickle that like button like it's your pickle. I concur. Even dipping into the New York accent a little more, so it's more natural. I try not to accent it up. All right, I really try to act normal. Now I'm a fucking villain arc, brother. What's up, Quiet Cries? Oh shit, Leo on YouTube as well. Let's fucking go. Got the Scooby-Doo drip, absolutely. Cassie on her villain arc, she needs belly rubs. I could dig it. I could dig it. Yo, Binary over on Rumble. Guys, we are live on YouTube, Kick and Rumble, so take your pick on where you want to watch the stream. The Devil Goonface, I am the devil. 100%. I'm the devil in the eyes of cowards, baby. Let's go. Oh, man. Valid. All right, so I was told that we do have a tier 1 video. Apparently I was also told that it's more my style, so whatever that means. I guess if we hit tier 1 today, we'll see. If not, hey, we can save it for later, right? So, get to the Xbox news. Yes, we have to watch. So, where's the dress? What the fuck? Silent Joker, why aren't you wearing my dress that I gave you, huh? You pulled up this morning to my stream, talking that shit, and I said, you don't put that fucking dress on in time for my fucking stream. It's gonna be curtains, motherfucker. Where's the heels? Yo, K-Hawk was good, fam. Yo, that shit yesterday, I just woke up and just read what was going on. I'm like, I forgot this dude was even alive. Like, what the fuck are we doing? It's so crazy. Homeboy don't even deserve a name. That's the crazy shit. I'm shocked that I'm still on Homeboy's mind. It's been like months since we had a back and forth, but needless to say, I live rent fucking free. Love it. Love it. Oh man, that was funny. That was cute. But I'm glad you got a kick out of it. Definitely made for an entertaining stream
Paying
discussion.
you back for last night, lol.
Aw,
Us
you-
girls gotta stick together.
Thank you. You totally didn't have to do that. It was just hilarious. I mean, I appreciate you telling me. It was very entertaining. Thinking of getting a 9800X 3D 32 gigs 6000 AMD for my first PC. Hey, you're aiming high. You're aiming high and you're aiming on point. Mikey, what's good? Nissan, L Alchemy. All right, guys, we're gonna get into this because it's actually this is like a 2-hour podcast. I don't know how much we're gonna get through today, but I must give background to what's going on. So first and foremost, guys, hit the like button. If you're new, subscribe to the channel. We're gonna get into the future of Xbox. What is the future of Xbox? So my boy Jay Fonz, shout out to him, dude. Like, bro, I fucks with Fonz heavy. He's always been really fucking chill with me. Always been cool. Always been level headed. Always had good head on his shoulders. He's not here to impress anybody by any means. He's the dude. He just wants the truth, and he wants to have honest discussions about shit. And he tries to get along with everybody. For the most part, he's just a chill guy. He's like that uncle. Fonz is like the uncle that, like, he actually respects you when all the other, like, you know, aunts and uncles in the family just look at you like you're an idiot kid. And Fonz is just like the uncle that knows that you're not as dumb as everybody thinks that you are. That's pretty much how it is. Yeah, he's definitely an unk. He's a good unk. Thanks, K-Huck. Take care of yourself, fam. Much love to you. Let's see his Ziggy cameo. Where he at? I don't see him right now. He'll come around eventually. So, shout out to Jay Fonz. I have his channel linked in the description below if you want to check out Fonz. Cool dude. Fonz is the cool unk. The other guy touches you. Yo! Yo! So the opposite of Alex. Oh my god. So, yes, I'm watching this stream with all of the love, right? That's my boy. And then we have Tim Dog. Now, Tim Dog, I neither like nor dislike. Sometimes he says some weird shit. Sometimes, you know, whatever. But I have no disdain toward Tim Dog. He's just a well-known Xbox fanboy for a very, very long time. Whether you value that or not, fine. But what cannot be disputed is that Tim Dog has access to a lot of, you know, Xbox executives, higher up Xbox people. Like, he knows people, he talks to people. Whether he still gets that kind of information or not, I do not know. Because Tim Dog did have a heel turn. He did he did switch over to PlayStation after Xbox, you know, I think it was after Phil Spencer said only 4 games. So I question whether Tim Dog has the kind of access that he used to when it comes to talking to higher ups over at Xbox. But this was a very interesting discussion between the two individuals and quite informative. From, you know, some things that Tim Dog is saying is obviously things that he's heard, and some of the things that he's saying is actually prediction. Hold on, let me fix this real quick. I didn't mean to cut that out. So, it does give us a good idea. I've only watched a little bit of the stream, and I just know it's going to be good. It's going to be, in the very least, interesting. Because the future of Xbox, in my opinion, is probably, it's very scary. And the thing is, it's not just Xbox, it is the future of gaming. And Xbox is trying to be 100% the first to jump right the fuck in. So that's my general concern. And they start talking about a lot of this shit. And I think it's actually very informative. Anime betrayal. I am prediction. Oh my gosh. So we're going to see what's up. I know some of you guys know who Tim Dog is. And you're like, oh God. And I don't blame you. I am too. But I think it's, in all fairness, it cannot be denied what I am saying about Tim Dog. So we'll see what happens. Microsoft wants to control cloud infrastructure 100%. That is not only just that, but they want to be absolutely the premier company behind, you know, AI in America easily. Yo, Lycos was good. Leo, if you're in Discord. Uh-oh. Y'all recommending anime to each other? I like to see y'all helping each other out. All right, so we're gonna see what's up. Now, look, you know, obviously Fonz is one of my homies. Fonz is also cool with Tim Dog. So this is like this isn't them like arguing with each other. It's a genuinely good conversation.
I want to preface this before we get into it by just telling the audience and yourself, like, Tim is on here to talk about what he believes is going to happen and certain things that he knows. And also, I just want to say that, you know, keep the, you know, the insults and stuff to yourselves. Don't really, you know, I don't want to see Tim get like blasted or whatever in the chat about anything, because Tim is
I
just
don't
speaking
care
his
about
truth
that, Fonz.
at the end of the day, and he is a friend of mine that I've known for a while. So I do. It's one of those things where, no, Tim, it's like a lot of people have said things about you over the last few years.
Oh yeah,
and
Tim Dog
I'll
gets
say, hey,
roasted, bro.
you can say what
He
you
gets
want, but Tim's still a
fucking.
friend, you know.
He
and
gets
I don't care to hear
all
stuff like
the shit.
that. You're just telling your truth. You're telling what you and I believe that you do hear some of this stuff that you talk about.
Yo,
And I know
man,
there's
what's good,
stuff
my
that
boy?
You're not going to be able to talk about on the air,
Yeah.
and you're not going to divulge into that stuff. And I'm
Dude,
not
I
gonna
want to
push
hear
you
this
do
shit that's
so.
going on behind
But,
the scenes. Oh my
I
god.
definitely know you're speaking some truth here, and that you definitely are talking with some people. But I don't know exactly where you want to start off with this. Let's go ahead and talk about like where you believe the future of Xbox is headed. How do you see this whole thing play out yourself?
Okay. First thing is that I don't care what the chat says about me. Just so you know, I don't read the chat. I understand you're a friend and you care. I don't care. I have a very thick skin. People who don't like me are just people that don't like what I'm saying. They don't. It's not that they don't like me. They just don't want to hear what I'm saying. They kind of they want to hear a certain
There's
thing.
a lot of truth to that.
Working
for
and lurking.
sure.
Oh, we're gonna
You
get
know what I
dude.
mean? So it doesn't bother me. But now I'm going to talk about Xbox in a way. My personal belief is that I still don't think that the hardware is gonna get is actually going to hit the assembly lines. But there is a chance. What I've heard is that
All right, so he's talking about, I'm assuming, the future, the next console that is supposedly in development. Why is he coping? Well, no. It's not cope. So far, it's not cope. Xbox has done, in my opinion. Here's the problem: Xbox doesn't know what Xbox wants to do yet. That's it.
basically everything is on the table. What that means is that anything like that they've been discussing as far as games, future ideas of stuff, they are now looking to specifically make a certain margin that they want to hit. They want Xbox to basically be at a certain
What's up,
margin
person?
level, profit margin. They want to make money, and they don't care how they get there. So what that means is that the games pass stuff. You saw that. They don't care about public reaction anymore because they're not really in the same place that they were even at the start of this generation. They are.
Oh yeah, they have long, dude. They have long abandoned everything that they were going for in the beginning of the generation. 100% easily. It's not even like debatable. They have completely changed over. You could tell that Phil Spencer and Sarah Bond are just figureheads. They're just talking heads. They're puppets. I think everyone can tell that at this point, that they're just puppets that are just taking orders. Xbox is done for me personally because dog shit price equals less reason for me to buy. Absolutely. They have essentially. Well, here's the thing. Xbox is in a situation where they're preparing for a complete new restructure of how they present Xbox to you. So, as of right now, what they're doing, none of that shit actually is even remotely marketable, right? As of right now, because they're just preparing for how they're going to repackage the idea of Xbox to you guys, to you, to me, etc. So that's what it is. It's like anybody that's rational is not going to go out and buy an Xbox at the prices that they're asking for. Nobody that's rational is going to suddenly be like, oh, it's totally worth it to jump into Xbox now. Like there is no trajectory of growth in the current state of Xbox. They're going to work on rebranding how they present Xbox to you, and that's when it's gonna click. But even then, what I think that they're gonna rebrand into is going to be some scary fucking shit.
In a much more specific market. They are in a much more it's just a different market.
I mean, that's pretty evident. Even if you
right.
just, Tim, even if you just look at the current state of their current consoles and how much they're going for today, 5 years into the generation, we're talking about consoles that are up to upwards of $800 now for them.
Right.
The base model alone, the Series S, was a $299 supposedly powerhouse to come into this gen to allow people to experience the next gen games, and that thing now is $400.
Yeah.
That's
And
crazy.
we're
Fucking
just getting
insane,
to the
right?
point where you see that they really don't care about much of a public outcry anymore.
Right.
They are about
That's
making
out the
money.
window. Yes, it's all about making money. Okay, they invested over $100 billion into the whole entire business
Oh
model.
my god, yo. So in the past, Fonz has been a bit of an Xbox guy. Like he's always been open to everything. Now he's moved on to PC, right? But like look at bro, look at this look at his like to dislike ratio. Damn, over 50 dislikes. That's crazy. For him, that's kind of wild. That's definitely not what he's used to, at least from yo. I was watching his previous podcast. He just had his podcast, I think, yesterday. But I was watching his previous podcast from last week where, you know, it just came out that Xbox raised the price of Game Pass. Bro, Fonz was going in. It was so fucking funny. He was telling people off in the chat. He was shitting all over Xbox. It was fucking hilarious. Yo, what's good, Shona? Mason says, also, rip Perfect Dark, Everwild, and Contraband. Wish something happened with them. Yeah, that and what was the game with the Dante knockoff guy that was supposed to be in like a dragon? I forget what the fuck it was, but that game was an interesting game many moons ago. Never came to
Okay,
fruition.
so they're not.
Fonz
There's
was
no more
fucking
freebies.
pissed.
Okay,
He was
there's been a
not
lot of
having it.
freebies, meaning that they've been willing to do stuff and see how it works out. That they are not in that mindset. Now they are in a mindset where they're going to get their
Yeah,
margins.
scale
And
bound.
how
There
they're
you
going to
go.
get it is quite easy. They're going to charge whatever they want to charge to get to that point. They're going to lay off as much as they want and close studios, close games. It's no longer our voices used to have a big, strong presence with them, and they would listen to us. It's out the window. If you have noticed, Phil and Sarah haven't tweeted since September 30th. Okay, I would say just watch those accounts.
Oh,
See if
man.
they start tweeting. Okay.
Why do you
so
think that
they
is,
are-
though? Why aren't they tweeting since, I mean, for 13 days? Because that is kind of odd.
Bro, they know Xbox is ass. Like you what is there to talk about? Because the moment Phil or Sarah Bond drop a tweet, they're just gonna be bombarded with getting shit on. As they, you know, that's just the natural reaction motherfuckers is gonna have. It is what it is. Cassie Good Cat, Mama Furry Tomboy who needs to wear a dress. Oh my god.
Odd, right? They
Aye,
usually
dog.
tweet on
Aye,
a more
dog.
consistent basis, I would say.
Well, I think Derek Strickland posted an article or something about something in regard to this, that they hired a finance firm to basically get them. I think I sent you the article or the tweet
Uh-oh.
in a text message. But
Uh-oh.
basically, they have finance people now in charge. I would say that Phil and Sarah are kind of powerless at this point, meaning that they're just being told what
That's
to do.
crazy.
They're saying, you know, this is the way it's going to go. We're doing this, and I don't care what you have to say. So the whole structure that was there is pretty much out the window now. You know,
When you say the whole structure is out the window, you're talking about the Xbox division and how they used to run things.
Right.
Because I'm of the belief, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, we haven't really discussed this, but I'm of the belief that the old Xbox that people know, and this is where me and people argue, some of the Xbox guys, I tell them the Xbox that they knew is dead. And that's where I say the Xbox is dead.
It is.
It is.
I mean, I don't think that's even disputable. It is. Everyone could tell. I mean, you could tell that how Xbox started this generation is not how they're doing now. It's completely different. They move in completely different. Keep your eye on Sony. They're gonna be using a giant distraction to push their own fuck shit. Yes, be using this distraction. Yeah. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me at all. I think Sony right now, Sony's in this weird position where I thought that the way Xbox was positioning themselves, because I always knew that Xbox was positioning themselves for next generation, and they were planning to really just. My thought process was for Xbox to make it so that when they do, you know, start the new generation, that they will have an instant user base mostly on PC. Because that way, you know, you're immediately selling new games. You don't have to go out and buy a console to start off jumping into the next gen, right? That's what I thought their goal was. If it be with PC or with cloud gaming, you don't have to go out of your way to spend $500 to $1,000 on a console to start off next gen, which I thought would put them in a way better position than PlayStation next generation, because PlayStation, their struggle is they don't really have great cloud infrastructure like that. They haven't been concentrating on that. They, are stubborn about, putting their games on other platforms. So in order to get that next gen experience, you would actually have to buy the console. And by that, I thought that, it would definitely shift the dynamic more, because Xbox was planning to be everywhere day one. Transition to a new generation would have been more seamless. Like that's the perspective I thought that they were going with for next gen, and how I thought that they were going to get ahead. But no, it's completely different. They're just completely going cloud. I'm 100% convinced. My thought process because I've been thinking a lot about this the past few days, since they announced Game Pass, and I was always focused in on cloud being on every tier. And I really think that their whole goal, they're not going to do consoles anymore. They'll invest in PC because PC is forever, right? But I really do think at this point, their whole thing is we're going to push Game Pass like crazy. And we're going to have cloud video games. And those cloud video games will be substantially less than buying the actual, digital copy or a physical copy. Physical media is probably not going to exist anymore for Xbox anyway. But it'll be way less than the fucking digital copy. I think digital games are going to be like $100. Like, think of it this way, guys. This is the mindset that they have. Remember when they introduced digital games over physical, and it was the same price as physical media, and everyone was just like, I was like, why would I buy a digital copy? I get less and have to pay the same. What the fuck is the point? And in some instances, I have to pay more because there's, sales on digital media have always been kind of mid. So my thought process was with all that was in regards to cloud gaming now, they're thinking, how do they introduce cloud gaming to you, the user, you and me, in a way that seems like a net positive over buying a digital copy? The first thing would be raise the price of the digital copies to $100. It's going to at least be 80, probably 100. And then they'll introduce the concept of, hey, always subscribe to Game Pass to get, cloud access at all times. And our cloud games will be like $40 or $50. That's what I'm thinking, right? Like, so that they'll constantly get revenue with Game Pass, and they'll be like, well, why buy the digital copy when you could buy the cloud copy that's half the price? That's what I'm thinking that they're going to try and market to people. That's in my mind. Yo, Fonz, what's good, bro? First time I've ever had a reaction video. Dude, I watched like 20, 30 minutes of you and Tim Dog talking. I thought it was really informative, really interesting. So I was like, yo, like let's chop it up, because like I'm just trying to predict where Xbox is headed. But Fonz is in the chat. Shout out to Fonz. I gave you a good shout out. I told guys to check out your channel because you do not fuck around. You don't fuck around, and you try to be fair, but when you smell bullshit, you call it out, and I always respect you for that. I said that you was the unk that respects everybody. But it's good to see you, Fonz, man. Hope you're having a good day, brother. Is YouTube F for anyone else? Everything's taking forever to load. I noticed chat is taking forever to load lately. But yeah, that's my prediction to their mindset of how they want to kind of lie to people in trying to get them, or just take advantage of people. Because if you raise the price of digital media to $100, and then you're like, well, the cloud copy is half the price, but then you always got to stay subscribed to Game Pass, they're going to forever get money. And that's the whole goal. So that's the way I see where they're going with this. That to me is a scary ass future. I will not be buying $100 video games. That's not gonna happen. I don't even pay for $80 video games. Like, most of these games are not appealing enough for me to even pay $60 for them these days. So I don't know, man. I don't know how people will respond to that, is scary because I've noticed this past couple of years that even despite people having, people's wealth depreciating, people just, I notice more than ever before, people are completely okay with being in debt just as long as nobody knows. And that's how people run their life now. It's crazy to me. I don't get it, but that's what I noticed. So I don't know what people are willing to go for. Yo, Marty was good. Trunks was good. L Alchemy, good to see you, my brother. Yeah, yo, L Alchemy just linked Fonz's channel. Go check him out, man. I'll give you 100 reasons why I won't pay $100. Yo, Black Metal Gamer, what's good, my man? Better not fuck with Xbox players' digital games. That would be crazy. Oh my god, if they did something like that. I don't think that they're gonna do that. They're just gonna completely change the general infrastructure. Like, I don't want to say infrastructure, but just how gamers interact with them from a gaming perspective in the future. They're going to just completely repackage how they sell games to you. I think that's the goal. I don't think they're going to take your digital media away. But don't trust them. Don't fucking trust them.
Microsoft gaming than anything, in my opinion. That's the way I see it.
Just look at Phil's Twitter, his header. It says head of Microsoft Gaming. There's nothing on Xbox on it. Just go look at it. So basically, Phil, listen, I had reported.
I haven't checked out Phil's Twitter in like years,
and it was very true that Amy said, "Okay, we have this whole thing with Call of Duty, and basically this is a big money maker. How are we going to get our return on investment?" And she had brought up it being brought into Game Pass. Now, credit to
head
Phil,
of Microsoft
he did fight
Gaming
for it last I think it was last year. And if you remember, there was reports, and he even mentioned it at a panel. He's like, "Oh, they even said that we're not going to have Game Pass." He actually took a shot at me there. I think that was specifically for me, but whatever, because I was the guy that said it. That was a real thing. So whatever, that was a debate. Then it did happen.
Everyone is desperate for an escape, absolutely.
To get it put in Game Pass. And then there was a report last week by Bloomberg that it lost $300 million. Okay, that is a stick in the craw of Satya and Amy right now. So that's why I'm saying that I believe that Phil and Sarah kind of are on their outs. I
don't think you're gonna be there for too long. I think Sarah Bond will stick around. But she's also doing other things. Like, isn't she involved with like Purdue or something like that? Like, I don't know. I forget. She's doing something else entirely. I think Phil Spencer is definitely out. He is not. I don't think he's gonna stay there for too long. So I don't know, man. But it is kind of crazy, like the shift and the change. And you could tell that they do not pull any strings anymore. Matter of fact, the strings are on them. I wish GOG got more games like Steam, but it's still awesome. Yeah, unfortunately, GOG is open to all the games. It's just, unfortunately, these companies, they don't want to give you what you want, and that's the problem. And Xbox is anti-goon, absolutely.
My personal belief
Phil's been out. He's just a middle manager, pretty much.
Or he could even leave in the next 2 weeks. It's coming. I don't think.
He's
gonna retire.
Tiger King, yeah.
Retire, yeah. This is like I said. Remember, I said it's a fluid situation. I don't know if we talked pre-show about that or now, but it's a very fluid situation. So you guys got to understand that this is very fluid, and that's why I talk about the hardware as it's up in the air, because it's very fluid. They were going to have a handheld that was Xbox.
Yeah, it's like they're figuring out how they're going to present the back end, like next gen to you. And right now, like, they're just letting shit lie where it is for now until they flip it over on you. That's really all that is, because they don't care. Right now, they don't give a shit on how their brand is presented to you now. Just look at the brand itself. What marketing perspective is there for Xbox right now? Nothing. There is nothing to positively market to a user, to a potential consumer. Nothing. YouTube down, nothing working. Damn, for real? That's kind of wild. They're just gonna lie low until they drop the whammy. Exactly, Nissan. Exactly. That's why I made my video yesterday, bro, because I was just like, dude, I just know that it's coming. Like, you could see the sniper from 300 yards out, bro. You could see the flashing scope, and it's like, oh my god, it's gonna hit, it's gonna fire. You know what I mean? Like I see it. I see it, and it's fucking scary because I don't know how crazy Xbox is gonna get because they're already doing crazy things, and I just know that this is the middle ground to their goal, and that's the scary thing about it. We don't know what's going on. I'm making predictions, but I know that shit is gonna get real fast. That's why I'm like super concerned, not just with Xbox, but the industry following in Xbox's footsteps as well.
Xbox pushed, and then they switched up, if you guys remember, and then they had the Asus thing, the third-party OEM. But they were having a handheld. They were doing something specifically the same as what Sony's doing. They're going to have that PS6
Yo, Emerald,
handheld,
you
and they're gonna have
wildin',
the
dog.
PS6. The leaks just came out by Kepler and Moore's Law. Those look like they're real. They look like it's coming out November 2027 or
EB
November
facts.
11th, 2027. If you go check their stuff out, go check out. They're talking about it. That is real. So,
Well, what about
I
the stuff
believe-
he talks about when it comes to Magnus? Because I do hear from some other people that tell me that they talk to people within Xbox and that they're
Breakdown and every Xbox L they have. So many.
Yeah, I can't even give them a genuine W, other than them putting games on other platforms. I think that's the only W this generation. But they've made their personal platform so unappealing that nobody wants to be a part of Xbox. So that's YouTube struggling for a ton of people right now. Really, that's crazy. Steam needs to come in and drop a hybrid console banger. It would be interesting, but I think Steam is only going to do that if they can manufacture a console and put one out in a way that isn't detrimental to their company. Like right now, they're fighting almost an ideological war with governments across the world just so that creators could put their game on their platform. Whether you like sex games or Gooner games or anything that might be rated under, adult, still that's revenue. First off, obviously they want to tell their creators, yes, you could put your game on our platform just as long as it isn't illegal shit, right? But also they're being attacked. They're a private company that is being deliberately attacked by the global fucking world government, as well as some really disgusting just nonsense. Like these companies, they're just going after them. I think because they're Steam is the company to be hating on right now, right? They don't have to answer to anybody, and I think that is the most. I think that's the thing that these governments and just other companies are looking at them like they don't have to answer to investors. They aren't involved in their shit. They're private. So I think that is the thing. Like Steam is getting too big, and I think that other companies and governments are looking at them sideways for it because video games influence now. Like it is the biggest influencer. It is the biggest form of entertainment. And the fact that Steam doesn't answer to any fucking buddy, I think makes other people look at them, or government companies, whatever, look at them sideways.
deep in
Yes,
on
that's all
Magnus
true.
and working on Magnus as we speak.
Yes, that is all true, but it's fluid. So meaning that it can come tomorrow, and some
Oh
of the
my
stuff
God,
that I really
Omega,
want to
fuck
talk
you,
about
bro.
might come out, and they just say, "Forget this. We're breaking this up, and we're gonna." See, when you don't have Phil in charge now, and you don't have him brainstorming and putting things in motion, and you have a finance firm, and that's heading this and saying, "Okay, this is what you do. This is what you do. This is what you do." When you have that, anything is off the table. They might just say, blow the whole thing up, sell Activision, do stuff like Call of Duty. I think this is the last Call of
I
Duty
don't think
that
they're
hits
gonna
Game
sell
Pass,
Activision.
and I think they'll just take it out, and then they'll keep the price the same.
Oh yeah. I don't think Call of Duty is gonna be in Game Pass anymore. I don't think so. Cause I don't know. It's like it'll either stay in the highest tier, but I don't think it's gonna be on Game Pass anymore. Yo, Slade, what's good, fam? Just noticed your hair is wet. Cass is wet today. Oh my God. All right, bro, really, really. What for who is the question? I mean, what?
You might not get a price drop next price raise next year, but Call of Duty, I believe, is coming out 100%. And the reason
Yeah.
why is because it makes more money when it's out of it. They have a problem with Game Pass and Call of Duty. As you heard, I think
Your bop, hell
and
yeah,
Des
it's a
talked about
classic,
that
man.
Madden sold more on Xbox than it did
You
PlayStation.
did earn it.
Okay, so Call of Duty was one of their mainstays. Okay, now you're taking all that money that they used to get,
Yo,
and now you're
Quadruple
saying,
J, what's
okay,
good?
now everyone's going to Game Pass and doing Game Pass, so they lost money. That's how they lost money. So they're going to probably take it out. So there's a lot of things that are fluid. That's what I'm saying. There's a lot of things that are going to come up.
So Rambling
What
says
up,
Call of Duty.
biatch?
Hey, appreciate the follow, Fluffy, over on Kick. Thank you, brother. So Rambling says Call of Duty will continue in Game Pass because that's the biggest attraction for cloud and subscription services currently. Subscription services, yes. Cloud, I don't know, bro. Oh my god. First off, I will say this. I will never play cloud. Yo, Valkyrie, what's up? I will never be playing like games on cloud personally. But imagine playing a multiplayer FPS on cloud. Oh my god. Oh god. It sounds disgusting. They say it might raise the price again. It wouldn't surprise me at all. It would not. Yo, Drewski, what's up, my man? Definitely not for $35 a month. Shit.
And we're in the midst of it. Okay, like the whole Target and Walmart thing. You don't have to go crazy.
You think so, Rambling?
Just wait till
I
Black
probably
Friday.
do.
If there's nothing on the shelf, and
I
nothing on the
am
shelf
very
at
biased
Christmas,
against
they're
cloud,
not in the
so I probably
catalogs.
do underestimate.
You know, they're
Here's-
already not.
Yeah, they're
No,
not in the
you'll know.
catalogs. They honestly aren't in the catalogs for Walmart. That's one thing that's been
Right.
substantiated, the Christmas catalogs and everything. But also, I do know I have a friend that works at Walmart in another state, and what he told me is that in his department they are getting rid of Xbox games. They are getting
Right.
rid of the games, and they're selling off whatever the consoles they have left, and they're probably
Right.
going to get rid of that too, because they are just Microsoft themselves, from what I'm hearing, is not really pushing physical games anymore. They are.
No.
Oh, yeah,
they
they
are
definitely are
not
not.
really spending much on retail.
They haven't cared about physical media in a long time. I think since before this generation. Bro, I remember buying some Xbox One physical copies like dirt cheap. Dirt cheap. YouTube isn't working on my desktop. It keeps giving me error messages. Oh man. YouTube down. So I'm looking on Twitter right now. Over 200,000 outage report. YouTube down. Damn. All because I pulled up, bro. I told you guys. Guys, I told y'all I was on my villain arc. And look what I did. Literally right after that, I sabotaged YouTube. So, I win.
Retail space
No.
anymore. And if you look at it, like, and I'm not saying that every Walmart is going to do this and every Target is going to do this, but one thing is for sure, despite this commitment they have with Walmart and Target, if you go to your local Target and your local
That's why you're
Walmart,
on Kick
I
today.
guarantee you that you'll
Yeah,
notice that they have
Fluffy. I'm sorry about this whole situation, by the
decreased
way.
the size of
Yeah.
the Xbox
Yeah,
Well,
section.
guys, I told y'all, YouTube is down. You're more than welcome to pull up on Kick. You're more than welcome to pull up on Rumble. Whatever works best for you. Obviously, do our best to try and accommodate y'all, man. YouTube's working fine for you on mobile. I guess mobile YouTube is doing all right.
Compared to that of the PlayStation and the Nintendo. I know it was like that at my local Walmarts.
Yes.
I don't know how it is at yours, but I'm pretty confident that a lot of places are like that. So them getting rid of stuff, I think that is happening, but it's regional. It depends on
No, I don't do
where it's-
Twitch. I refuse to support Twitch. They defend and look the other way when, fucking terrorist propaganda is discussed. So I don't support all that. Yo, Smash, what's good, bro? Is YouTube's down for you? I'm hearing it's the desktop version.
selling best, where it's not really doing that well,
Right.
what they decide to do with their space. Because each Walmart, they don't have a policy saying they have to sell
Yeah.
Xboxes there or whatever. They don't have
What
to
up,
order any
biatch?
Xboxes if they don't want to.
Yo,
It's not
appreciate
that type
the
of
follow,
partnership with
Omega,
Xbox.
over on
So
Kick.
if they're not selling, like in the case of Costco
Yeah.
got
YouTube is
rid
gay as
of
fuck.
all their Xboxes
Yeah.
and stuff and will not sell them anymore because they simply weren't selling in their space. And they decided, hey, we don't want it. So this is something that's like a dare I say, case by case basis.
Right.
You know,
But it's
that's what it
again,
is.
it's a fluid situation. I keep saying it's a fluid situation. I mean, there's many moving parts, and there's things that are not there's nothing set anymore. There's no more mindset. This is completely could change. That's what I said. In 2 weeks, don't go, don't. You don't have to do anything. Just go and see what's going on. In my opinion, they're going to lose all the retail space. In Europe, they're basically dead. So I mean,
Oh my god, dude. Xbox in Europe has never Xbox has only ever had success in America. I'm convinced. Like I don't other than maybe some other small countries but like Japan straight up no. No. It has never been close. Even Xbox at its best during 360 for every fucking one Xbox 360 sold back in Japan back in the day, there was like 10 PS3s to accommodate that. So it's been pretty crazy. I like to point out that the screenshots they're using are 2 to 3 years old. For what specifically?
they're done in Europe. So
In
and we'll
Europe,
talk about the Magnus
they
and
never
stuff
had a
like that
foothold in
going ahead.
Europe
I don't
like
even
that.
think that. I think that if they launch Magnus,
It's being weird
I'll
as
get
hell
into
for you
that,
on
and
mobile.
it'll just be a United States thing. It's going to be very specific. But yeah, I think that the time of their console is now winding down. So I believe that they're not even
Hey,
making any more Xboxes. Why would you? They're very worried that they're going to have an oversupply.
I
And when you
think
have
didn't they
damn,
already say that the
Alucard's
Series X
wild.
is no longer in production?
I don't think that they've come out with it, but I think it's quite. I think
I've
it's
heard that
definitely
behind the scenes.
That's crazy. The Series X is no longer in production. Do you guys think that's true? Yo, Karen's raisin potato salad. This is my boy Fonz Gaming, really chill dude. He does his podcast on a weekly basis, talks about all the news surrounding gaming. So I definitely recommend him. Do you think it's true? I don't doubt it. I mean, at this point, with how it's priced, who wants to pay 600 and what is it, 650 for an Xbox Series X? Like, let's be real now. I'm just being honest. Yeah, 650 for a 1 terabyte Series X. Who wants to pay that? The 2 terabyte model is fucking $800. It's insane. The Series X, absolutely. The Series S, doubtful. Because the Series S actually does sell. It's the out of the two models, it's the most selling. It's like, what is it, a 30-70 split? About, give or take. The Series S accounts for like 70% of Xbox Series console sales. So some retard will. I mean, there's always got to be that one, right? The next Xbox could put it out, but won't sell much. I would cancel. Yeah. Yeah, did Devastator update us with Walmart, Target, the other stores, those picks? Yeah, they're not talking about that Devastator because it was unconfirmed. They're not talking about that. That's a whole other conversation. They're just generally talking about, their thoughts on the future of Xbox. They're not going over the fake, the fake images that basically Target, Walmart is discontinuing the sales of the console. Do you think The Grudge is scary? I've never actually watched The Grudge. I've only seen like clips or whatever. I do miss the Series S, but not that much to pay more now for it. Yeah, fuck that.
Then
I've heard that.
Yeah,
I've heard that, but it hasn't been publicly said. I mean, that's the thing. You also have a type of thing where if somebody says something like that,
Tim
then
Dog's
you
been
have
talking to
this
people behind the
contingency.
scenes, Devastator. That's why I found this whole thing interesting to talk about.
Says no, it's not true. Everything's great. What? There's just Xbox haters going on. They're just the reality is like you just judge what you see. Judge what's going on. It's self-evident. Like you don't need a report to say all this stuff. It's just kind of obvious where this is going. Like there's not, they're not making, like I could definitively say they're not making. I've heard that too, of course, but it's obvious they're not making Xboxes and Xbox S's anymore. They're just going to use the supply that they have and they're going to sell that out whenever they sell that out. And it's they are done with the Xbox Series X and the Xbox Series S. They're done.
I mean, I will say this: I can't see this console selling. Maybe a Series S, but even then, it's like the price is like why? Why would I go out of my way to buy one? So I don't know, bro. I don't think that this shit is selling anymore. And if it's not selling, why would they produce more? I would have a Series X if it wasn't for the shortage at the time. I went back to PC after a 15-year you're talking about the year hiatus? Haven't touched my X1 for about a year, yeah.
As far as they're not even thinking about that. That's a bad word in Microsoft in their meetings. Basically, they're
Hey,
just
Miss Bella,
declaring
hope you're doing
it
well.
out. There's no plans, and whatever they're going to clear out, they're going to clear out the way they're clearing it out at a very high premium price of $800 or whatever the craziness prices that they have. So the reality is,
Yeah, that price is
is
crazy.
that hardware is in a very bad place. It's not in a good place. And then you obviously come to the question of,
Even when hardware, and it's hard to say when hardware has been in a good place this generation, it's been a little finicky, the mass majority of it. But even when hardware was in a better place, like Xbox still wasn't ahead. Like they were still like dude, I remember one holiday season, like the series consoles were so ridiculously low in price. And even then the numbers showed that people just didn't want it. The prices showed that no matter how low the price was for an Xbox Series console, the mass majority of gamers still were willing to pay a higher price for anything else, which is wild, but it is what it is. It was true. Xbox has gone out of their way to lower the price of their consoles to insane numbers. I think at some point the Series S was like either $200 or something like that. It was so fucking low, and people still didn't want it. It's crazy. And then Game Pass was really good price back then, so you would think there would be an easy W. It should have been, right? Theoretically. Yeah, dude, I remember that. I remember that holiday season. And, it's sold, but in comparison to PlayStation, in comparison to Switches, they were not on the same level of sales. It was not even close.
why would you even do hardware? Now, I'm of the mind, I'm always somebody that can look at the situation and say, what would I do if I was an advisor to Satya? In my opinion, I wouldn't touch the hardware. Do it now as a consumer and as somebody that likes
Yeah, I'm
Xbox.
sorry about that, Miss
Do I
Bella.
want that? Absolutely not. But from a business perspective, it's they're done as far as hardware. I would get away from that, and I would push to exactly what that leaker sneaker was saying. That see, the thing about him is, like, people say, oh, he's fake. He's a real person. He's somebody in the know, 100%, and he knows what he's talking about. So if you're going to dismiss him, that means you're just being dismissive of just logic, because what he's saying makes sense. So what he was saying, that it's on the table, it's up in the air, is true. The hardware is definitely up in the air,
Yeah,
100%. And
absolutely.
everyone at Xbox knows that. Could it still go? Let's go under the assumption that it does go. I hope it goes, because I kind of actually like what the plan of the Magnus
YouTube is
is.
struggling on
And
mobile
that's
too.
basically, and
Yikes.
we'll talk about this now, I
Yeah.
guess. It's basically they're going after the pre-built market. So they're
Yeah,
going
pre-built
after a
PC.
very, right. So they're going after the PC. It's going to be like $1,200. It will be more expensive than a PS6, and it will be a hybrid. You'll be able to boot into Steam. You'll be able to boot into Xbox. Very specific. Very, it's actually a pretty cool idea, in my opinion. Actually, to be honest, I like the idea. I think it's actually something that could work. But you're not dealing with any more of, you're not even dealing
Well,
with.
I think that there's so much trust issues with Xbox. Like, honestly, I don't think there's anything that Xbox puts, if Xbox puts their logo on it, I would be wary of it immediately, especially with how they're moving. And if they just abandon the console market, and they don't, like, Xbox's problem is that they don't look like they have a plan. And if that's the case, and that comes off, I think everyone could tell that, at least how they're presenting gaming to gamers, they don't really have a real plan. So why would you trust a company that doesn't look sure in anything that they're doing? Because I don't think there's anything Microsoft, in regards to Xbox, I don't think they look sure in anything. There's nothing trustworthy about them. Like, there is zero reason to go out of your way to fucking be like, you know what? Yeah, let me go get this this PC that's $1,200 that Xbox is promoting. Like, why would I do that? Yo, what's up, Delta Cass? You see, Terminator 2D No Fate has a new game plus that allows you to make changes that deviates away from the chronological events, and it unlocks new levels in doing so. Dude, I'm gonna have to check that out. That sounds crazy. That might just take that shit to a whole new level. Wow, that's cool though.
There's a couple
We're
of
dealing
things
with
here,
like
Tim.
a 3 million market. Like,
We have to
you're not
dissect a
talking
couple of
about a huge
things.
one.
Yeah,
Sure.
we're not talking about a huge market,
Shit,
but
my
I
bad.
believe it's if they were to bring out hardware, doing something like this, a PC, you know, in console form factor, would be the best thing they could do, because it would open up that box to, like you said, Steam, and also their games. They would just, you know, be creating their Windows games. They wouldn't be having to create a specific game for the console box, and then again, you have that Windows version. You have one game there. That would also tell me it would all be digital. There would no longer be a disk drive for this thing.
100%. 100%.
Most people
You're right
out
on,
there,
right on the track.
yeah, and most people out there aren't even buying physical games
Hold on,
anymore.
guys, one
Anyway,
sec.
this even goes for the PlayStation side, by the way. So if any ponies are out there, you know, still yelling forever physical, you're retarded, because that's not happening.
Yo,
100% now, guys.
It's very small, the percentage that buy physical.
oh
but
man, that's probably the most devastating thing to me this generation. Like, I'm not even buying physical games like that anymore. And if I am, it's like I'm buying like used fucking PS3 and PS2 games. That's how bad it is. Because like I used to be able to buy I used to buy games twice. Like I would buy a game on Steam, right? And if I really liked the game, I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna go buy a physical copy of this game. And I would wait till it was like kind of on the cheaper side and then cop. But now it's like physical copies of games are not even going down reasonably in price anymore, to the point where it's not even worth it for me to double dip like I used to. It's so wild, the current state that is. I guess they're just producing less copies of games in general, so that's kind of been the struggle. Fawn says, I don't expect Xbox hardware next gen to have a disk drive at all. They probably won't, if it comes out. I'm more on the side of they do release a PC in console form factor. I wonder how that's going to play out, because obviously, you know, Steam has also been doing the same thing. Obviously, I think that Microsoft will win because they just have a bigger name, and they're more able to convince console gamers to come over. But it'd be kind of crazy if Steam drops a Steam box around the same time too. Because you obviously know I'm going for the Steam box. I don't care. No, I'm not. I don't think I'm buying a fake console. I don't think I would do that. I would have to be in a situation where I really just the only way I would do that is if I want a PC in another room in my house. And that could be possible, but I doubt it, at least right now. Well, Lou Flame, so I could, if there's a way to make, so like say if I have like family over or something, and if there is a way to make my ability to do like play co-op games like more comfortable, in like my game room, for example, I have downstairs, I would consider it, depending on the price and what it actually does. It depends.
But that would be the best course of action for them. But I would still even say, if they did something like that, and let's say they, you know, went more the PC route, it's still not.
Yeah, like my PC, dude, I would have to get someone to sit
PC
next to me, and it just,
Xbox, you know,
it just wouldn't be, it wouldn't be a comfortable thing to play games like a co-op game.
Microsoft gaming going forward.
Yes, 100%.
I did hear that, Tarnish.
But here's the problem, though. Here's the problem I have with it. Microsoft is constantly like stepping on rakes. They do a lot of
Yo,
shit.
for real,
They'll
though.
do some great shit sometimes and look like they're the most pro-consumer company. And at one time, I was out there saying they were. And then they'll step on a rake and they'll do something so ridiculous to piss people off and to make them look like the bad guy again. So could I see them actually making the machine that I want them to make and that you want them to make? Probably not, because they're used to stepping on those rakes. And it seems like it would be something that would be so easy for them to see and do, and probably sell a decent amount. I won't say that they'll sell like a ton of them, because the price point and all that. Because a lot of people have told me, Tim, a lot of console guys have told me they're already priced out of the market today. If they had to
Yeah.
buy a new console today, at the prices they're at
Dude.
right now,
It's so scary to think that that's the case. Like what is the future of gaming for like non-Americans even? Like Americans can't even afford this shit, right? A lot of us. What would be the like? You would be destroying the gaming market. Honestly, I think this will 100% confirm like the inevitable crash. I think the one thing that all these companies are going to lean on to try and help them to this future transition in gaming, really more than anything else, is AI to help cut down on cost. But even then, I don't think it's going to help them, because I don't think that they're going to be able to develop AI fast enough to substantially depreciate like development time and all that stuff. The future of gaming is for those that have money. It's a luxury. It is definitely a luxury, but that's the crazy thing, man. There's power in numbers, and I don't know how that works. AI might ruin shit too. Exactly. I think that they're going to lean so heavily on AI to help cut down on cost of production that it is going to backfire. They're going to be so desperate to do it. Introducing cloud, Steam Deck, and piracy. Yeah. I don't know, man. It's just, it is a scary future in gaming. And I knew next generation was going to be kind of weird and different, but
Can the gaming crash happen already, please? Person with praying hands.
Yo, Black Cobra, it's already in process. It's just that basically the industry is just not acknowledging it, and they're just blaming everything else. But it is happening. It 100%. How could you say that it's not happening? It's just that if the entire society or just the powers that be just refuse to acknowledge it. Look at our government. Like, for example, our government has been in a recession for years. And guess what? They just chose not to acknowledge it. So
Dystopian future prediction. If you can't afford overpriced hardware, you will be told, oh, just use cloud gaming, or playing games isn't for you.
Arctic, 100%. That's what I was getting at with my most recent video. By the way, Black Cobra, thank you so much for the 2. Arctic, thank you so much for the 5. That was the last portion of my video. They're literally pricing people out of hardware, and then they're just going to say, well, the alternative, instead of consoles being super low price entry points into gaming, is cloud gaming. And they're going to have you buy cloud video games and keep you subscribed to Game Pass so that you can use their cloud servers. And that's what it's going to be, bro. That's going to be the new entry point in gaming, and that still does not accommodate the reality that a lot of, other countries outside of the US, Japan, etc. have shitty internet. So that's also the struggle there too. What's good, PlayStation Gamer? Delta says, dude, it wouldn't surprise me that Microsoft uses AI to voice Master Queef rather than use the actor for the next couple of Halo games, dude. But the actor would have to consent to that. And the money got to be good, so I don't know. I don't know, bro. Unless they just change how Master Queef sounds. Microsoft will be getting rid of a lot of employees within the next 4 months, and we might see more studios fall. It would not surprise me at all. Xbox is going through another culture shift. Microsoft is sick of what Xbox hasn't been able to do, so the house of Xbox is going to be cleaned soon. Don't know if it'll help to make it worse, but it's happening. Nothing that's being done right now is to benefit us. So at least from our perspective, it's all going to be negative, because all of what they're doing is not to give us a better product. It's all to line their pockets
sick
better.
Of Windows, especially on laptop, TBH.
I don't blame you, bro. Windows is so fucking rough. Like, for me, I'll be the first to say I don't give a fuck about game developers. I don't give a fuck about this. I just want games at a reasonable price. And from my perspective, looking at it as a gamer, there's nothing they're going to be doing over the next year that is going to benefit me in any way, shape, or form. Over 320,000 reports on down detector. Really? That's crazy, bro. They're already trying to make computers obsolete by killing Windows 10 support. Emerald, that shit is so fucking scary to me. And what's crazy is these game devs have already put out like things like, hey, we can't promise that our games will have Windows 10 support. It's like, huh? What the fuck? Like Windows, Microsoft, they're all moving really fucking shady right now. It's scary times, guys, and that's why I was telling y'all, bro. I don't know the answers. I don't know what's going on. I don't know, I just know that to be cautious, to be very, very cautious. And that's why, like, bro, I'm really trying to put a lot of attention on this because I think that it is scary shit, man.
He couldn't afford it. It's ridiculous.
100%.
That's why most people.
Linux about to get a huge boom.
Expensive. That's another debate. But gaming is going to be very expensive, and GTA is going to kick that off. So that's a whole other debate. But 100%. I mean, I was talking to a former CEO of a video game company. I'm not going to mention his name, but we were talking about this very thing. Gaming is going to get more expensive. It's expensive now, but it went way too long being at a certain price point that it impacted the whole industry. Like Sony is making a 13% margin overall for their division, I believe. And that when I had just to shoot back to what I was saying, like
all of these companies bloated up during the COVIDs, and they've been trying to trim fat and whatnot, but they can't help but spend money. The problem is the industry has hired a bunch of people that do half or less of what the previous generation did in gaming. That's the big issue. And I guess they thought that maybe technology will be able to accommodate this reality, because they don't hire the cream of the crop anymore. It's just they hire by other means. So when you have people that are willing, that are only capable of doing half as much or less than the previous, like, yeah, you're gonna have to hire more people. You're gonna have to spend more money. And they thought that technology leaping forward would be like, I guess, the pushback to that scenario they put themselves in, but no. Fon says, if you only knew what Xbox has been doing for years now, I believe it, man. I believe it's some of the worst shit. I believe that's why, because I do think that Phil Spencer, and this is not me glazing Phil Spencer by any means, but I think that he does, to a certain extent, care about gaming. I think he's ashamed to literally show his face. Like, I really feel with all the shit that's been going on, I really feel like he doesn't even want to say anything because of how he knows the repercussion, and how gamer like shit is gonna be. No. In a way, I'm glad Microsoft is taking over. It's that bad. I will just say that. You know how bad Microsoft is, but anything is better than Xbox Match. Really? Ooh. Ooh. Oh, Phil is the... Ooh. I got you, dog. I got you. That's wild, though. It's crazy to think. But I will say this. They are forcing Windows 11 because of the data collection shit. Bro, like, Windows 11 and 10 are different for one very specific reason, and Microsoft has been very quiet on that specific reason. But I know that Microsoft has access. There's like a back door of Windows 11 that Windows 10 doesn't have, and that's why they're forcing people to adapt Windows 11. So that's some scary shit right there. Bill got handed a turd sandwich. Just is what it is. Not everyone is can turn a sinking ship around. He did try. I'll give him that. Phil is so terrible for gaming, in my opinion. I know nothing, though. Make that known. I know nothing. Just an opinion. No, that's fair. I think that Phil Spencer, his problem is that his problem is that he wanted to do everything good. Like, it feels like he wanted everyone to like him. He wanted to do all these good things, and he wanted to make Xbox a successful brand. And I think that aiming at all those things, and there's no perfect way to present it. There's no perfect way to cook a turd. You know what I mean? So I just think no matter what, it's just motherfuckers is cooked. So I don't know, bro. It is wild to think though. I do call the Great Depression Part 2. We're just misery, no reason to just ruin our favorite things ever. I mean, honestly, bro, I hope piracy can save us. Oh man, yo Nelly, what's good, my man? Horror and Hellfire, what's good, fam? I wish I could just tell you guys, but it'll implicate people because nah. Don't do any of that stuff. Obviously, you know you gotta do what you're doing.
Xbox, I think they're like
You
I
got
think Jen even was
you gotta
talking
do what you
about
gotta
it
do,
about
man.
like
I
a
get
year
it,
ago.
but
They
I
want like a
I know
very
something's up, bro. Like I can't connect all the dots, but like I have spidey sense on a lot of shit, right? And it's like I sometimes tell people like when a game is coming out, I'm like, bro, I don't know what it is, but something's up with this game, right? And I've told people this in the past.
Newest 25H2 update removes the option to buy Windows, making it a subscription-based model apparently. The BIOS is a gig larger now skull.
Yo, that's crazy, Chartard. Holy fuck, thank you for the 5. That's wild. Like, it's not the thing is, guys, when you're judging whether something is worth jumping into or not, it's not what they tell you, it's what they don't tell you. And when they specifically, like any company, any game that they're putting out there, any company, any console, anything, I don't look for what they're telling me. I pay attention to what they're not telling me, and based upon that, that's when I say, guys, I think something's up here. And I tell you guys this, and I think that more often than not, I've been kind of correct. I mean,
what up, bitch?
You know, I'm not perfect, obviously. I can't give you any genuine foresight, but when I see what they're not telling me and the answers they're not giving me, yeah, I'm very concerned. More so than what they're telling me. Appreciate the follow, Dungeon. I'm over on Kick. Hey, welcome to Kick, my guy. Ask yourselves, this is just an opinion. But ask yourself, why is Mike Ybarra so mad at Xbox? Yeah, he has been really speaking out.
For that and video games,
heavy.
And the way the industry is like ridiculous. So it's kind of unrealistic. So the only way you're going to get there is by doing what they're doing, charging, laying off people, and going absolutely buck wild and not even caring about.
And also, you have to look at the other elephant in the room, which is AI, and how deep and heavily involved they are in that as well.
There you go. Now that's
scary shit, man.
Very real. Okay, and there's no debate about that,
bro. Microsoft wants to compete with NVIDIA with AI. Look at how NVIDIA is. Bro, it literally pays for itself. Like, the government, look at how the government is just glazing the fuck out of NVIDIA. The government's just like, hey, we'll pay for everything. Just continue to develop our AI for us. Please, we need you. Like, literally, NVIDIA has our government's dick in a box right now. The government's willing to literally pay for all of NVIDIA's advancements.
The Windows product. They ruined the gaming line. What haven't they wrecked, lol?
Yo.
Also, how'd you up, Cage?
Yo, Infamous, thank you so much for the 10. Yeah, bro, honestly, all around, it's just been kind of just either mediocre or just outright just murder. What Microsoft's been doing lately. It's kind of crazy to think how bad it's gotten. And it's really disappointing, bro. It is. But thank you so much for the 10. You told me enough to do that. Dude, the second I hear COD, Battlefield, or any game that works with anti-cheat on Linux, I'm gone from Windows. Yeah, I don't blame you, bro. Like, it's so crazy. It's so ridiculous that we don't have a real alternative. That you don't lose out on stuff. Even with, like, the problem with Linux is, like, stuff like HDR. There's, like, software features that you definitely would give up on as well if you do switch to Linux. And that's kind of the struggle for me as well.
They don't want 500-person studios. They want 50. And they want AA scale, and they want AI They want to be the leader in AI. See, people
Dungeon
have to
says AI
realize
bubble's
this,
about
and
to
this is a
burst
fact,
in 2
guys.
years if it's not
There's no
profitable.
debate here. I don't
It's a
care
failure.
who you are. There's no debate. They want to be the leader in AI, and the way Satya is he wants everything streamlined. So that means he doesn't want one part of the company doing one way and the other. He wants everything the same. He wants everything on AI. Okay, AI is 100% going to be a revolution.
What happens if
Okay,
all the
and
companies are
Xbox and Microsoft,
they
if
bought
they're
up in
still around,
2021,
they're going to be
2023?
the ones that say, "Hey,
A
we're
lot of those dev studios are gonna get consolidated, shut down, all that shit. I'm not saying a lot of them, but definitely they're gonna downsize heavily. You could tell that that's literally, dude. Imagine being in that industry, bro. Bro, I'm just happy to be a nobody that does my job because at least I know my job. Motherfuckers is always gonna need my job. Motherfuckers is always gonna need me around. Uh, being in the technology, sector, that's some scary shit, man.
doing it." And what does that mean? That means that all these developers are going to get let go, and they're basically going to be writing code to eliminate their jobs, and it's going to come down to like 10 people in 10 years. It's going to be ridiculous. AI is a major problem, but that's another debate as
Yeah.
well. But they're pushing AI 100%. So layoffs are
Guys,
inevitable
hit the like button for
with
me.
them.
We
But yes, they're
appreciate
going to
it.
be, if they're in this, AI is going to be in the forefront of their business model with Microsoft Gaming.
And so we could talk about the Magnus and say, okay, so if this thing does come to fruition, they put it out there and it does decently well or whatever. The other problem they have, and I can't stand to be just doom and gloom, but I'm sorry. Right now, Xbox
Yo,
is
Delta
honestly
for
like
real,
one of
right?
the most untrusted companies out there because they keep stepping on those goddamn rakes. I'm sorry to put it this way, but the other big issue they're having is their games and the fact that they are such a mismanaged company that all these studios, many of them are such in deep turmoil and just a clusterfuck there. And Xbox can be out there and try to argue with me. These fanboys get mad, but just look at what's going on right now with Halo and the Halo studios.
Yes.
343 rebranded, and I thought, hey, maybe they get it. Maybe they're going to come together and actually pull this off and become a good cohesive studio. But so many people are leaving. There's things going on there that we just don't know yet about.
We've been hearing about it, unfortunately.
After 17 years or something, and he says that in due time he's going to come out and talk about a lot of shit that's going on.
Yeah.
And if this doesn't open your eyes, people, I mean, just look back over.
Yeah, bro. Like, I would love to be a fly in some of these meetings that's going on behind the scenes and stuff. It's gotta be some scary, creepy shit, bro. Like, from the perspective of if you like how things if you like gaming how it's been, like what they have planned for the future. Oh my god, bro. Scary shit. Cage, you really ready for the Xbox and Sony ponies coming for that ass on Twitter? Bro, I already said I'm on my heel arc. I already, bro, I put it out there, bro. I'm on my heel arc. I'm even visual representation of even the heel arc at this point. Like, it is what it is. Yeah, over 320,000 reports of YouTube being down. Crazy. Funnies when? Devastator, I'm not sure. Not sure yet. Look at certain execs they've gotten rid of and who they've replaced them with. True that.
Over the years,
I'm gonna have to do a little research into that low-key funds.
So many different
I'm not too knowledgeable.
Microsoft that have had something.
I've always seen execs as just just a fucking, how do you say, like, I just didn't really put too much stock into who, the retard in the suit is. You know what I mean? Maybe I have to do that a little more now.
Has caused games to either get taken away or we haven't heard from them since they've come out and announced them. Like Perfect Dark, for example.
Yeah,
a whole studio just fucking left. The Initiative was supposed to be their
so creepy
quadruple A studio.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing. The fact that Initiative went down that dirty is fucking wild to me. Fucking wild. That is such a blow that I don't think people really realized it. But that is crazy.
As
Yeah.
soon as we started hearing little inklings of issues and Drew Murray leaving unexpectedly and stuff, and it was just
Yeah.
like there is something deeply
Connected dots,
rooted
huge
in
coincidence.
mismanagement there at Microsoft that it has trickled down to all of these studios, most of them, if not all. I don't know if it's all. I'm not going to make that blanket statement, but we've heard so much about
Well, I'm gonna have free time
Undead
tonight to figure
Labs,
that out.
Halo Studios, The Initiative, just different studios that have had their problems. And I just wonder, Tim, what the hell is going on there? Is nobody like watching over these studios and making sure that things are in line?
Well, I think our discussion yesterday that we had on this kind of like you know, like we were talking about how you were saying how Tim kind of knows people, but when I brought that stuff to you, like holy cow, it kind of made sense. But
Things are too depressing, pensive face. We need that sundress.
Oh, fuck!
The sundress will make everything better. Well, I'm on my heel arc, and I just want chaos. All right, fuck out of here. No sundresses, damn it. Thank you for the 5, Marty. Oh man, the initiative is a perfect representation of the mishandling over at Microsoft. Bro, I'm gonna have to look into some of the people that's the figureheads over there, man. I'm gonna have to do some research tonight, out of curiosity at this point, because at this point, studio team. Look at the studio teams these days that are at Xbox. There's a huge coincidence. See, I haven't looked that deep. Man. I've just been looking at what they haven't been telling us, and just how they're structuring, Game Pass, and really just overall all the things that we've been hearing, and they've been pushing the past few years, and how some of it is there's been a consistency of some things, and then there's been just all over the place with other things, and how that's been playing out.
yeah, they're a deeply mismanaged company. The studios are all sounds like 100% mess. There's 100%. There's a major internal strife going on. Major issues.
Crazy, bro.
She said she wants us depressed. God damn.
Yes, absolutely. Heel arc, baby. Full on villain arc. Gothic dress for villain arc. Oh my, get the foot. Lionheart, you gonna pretend that that's gonna be a bad thing for you guys? It'll be bad for me either way, and it'll be positive for you guys nonetheless. The sundress is chaos, bro. If I put on a sundress, I think that the world would end. Like, forget what we're dealing with now. This is like the slow decline. No, like literally the world would implode instantaneously. She's a monster.
When that stuff comes to light, I don't know. It's not my place to really talk about it, but there are real problems there, and we're like, when you look at a thing like Perfect Dark, they make 7 years or whatever it is, and there's a vertical
Insane.
slice. All they have or whatever. It was like a
Villain
ridiculous.
arc means black cat suit drooling face.
God damn it, Nissan. Thank you for the 2, bro. YouTube on my laptop is working.
She's getting boxing gloves. Run.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, I love boxing. Absolutely.
Let's
Let's
leave
go.
out a
Thank you for the
small
5, brother.
What we saw there is they just created that for the showcase. That wasn't even the game, part of the game.
No, I haven't.
know.
That was
I
just
know.
created
Dungeon,
for the
send me that
showcase.
shit, bro.
And then you've
No.
got other studio. Oh, Rare. That's another
Send
one
me
that's
that
been in
shit.
disarray. Rare has been in
It
turmoil.
really ties in to certain stuff, but again, it's
I will say this.
That
I will
stuff-
say this, Tim,
that
without you
stuff will
saying
come
anything.
out, I
No.
think.
Without you saying anything, I will say this to people. You can connect the dots, folks. Look at certain certain fires and certain hires and certain people placed into certain positions, and you can connect the dots. You can do it.
Listen, the bottom line is that there will be a time where there's Microsoft Gaming, not even Xbox anymore, but Microsoft Gaming has a lot of things going on within the organization that one day I believe will come to light, and it's not going to be something that's pretty. One of the reasons why I did deactivate last week was because and I spoke to Fonz about this. I have a lot of regret that I basically put so much time and passion and energy into something that was kind of fake. But at least fake to me. And now knowing what I know, I do have some
What do you mean
major
by that?
regrets.
But it was kind
Dude, it's sad to think, like, Like, bro, there was a time where, I called myself a pony, or like I would always side with a specific console, whatever generation. I would switch all the time. It's just like, what are you offering me that's better than the other guy? And what do I like more? And that's it, right? But from the perspective of like someone that has been repping a brand or a company for so long, to like actually look back on it and have like I don't know, like a thought process of, wow, I actually supported this, and now look where this company's headed. That's some scary shit, bro. Not gonna lie. It's kind of crazy to think. I'm legit scared for the future of gaming, if a future exists. For the true gamers, I'm right there with you, Mason. I'm right there with you, bro. It's I'm the world would burn if Cassie put on a sundress.
Like a sundress.
Oh my god, yo, good brother. We ain't gonna do no sundress, brother. Can I send it to you in the chat? I'm not in the Discord. Yeah, you can drop it in chat. I don't know if it's gonna register, but or if you want to send it to me on Twitter.
Well,
I don't know where else you could
again,
send it to me.
it ties into the stuff that we talked about. I don't really
Oh,
want
that
to
you
go
don't want to get into. Okay.
Yeah, like with sneakers, talked about some of the stuff. He alluded
I'll respect
to
that.
it.
I'll respect that. Yeah.
But like it's just something that I kind of like look at my life and I said, wow, it's kind of like even with
Never,
my
Sir
health,
Duck.
like
Never.
I should have.
Yo, shout out to L Alchemy. He's been a member for 16 months. Wow, holy shit.
Never say never.
Never. Never. Thank you for the 5, brother. L Alchemy says, it's your high heel arc everyone's waiting for.
Oh, fuck!
Yo, you guys are no, son.
Should have been doing
No.
different things. I should have been hanging out with my daughter. I should have been, taking my wife out to, I remember I would tell my wife,
Thank you, Dungeon. I
I
appreciate
gotta do
that.
a podcast tonight, some random podcast that I'd be nice to a person. And I'm telling my wife, oh, can we reschedule? Like, I have real
You
regret.
shouldn't have fought with Paris, right?
Oh man.
Yeah. I mean, but just like it's just things that I should have known better, and I deeply regret doing some of that stuff. But on the good side, I've made friends like you, I've made friends like Rand, I've made friends like Megatron, some really good people. South, so there isn't the whole story's not
Oh man,
a
Dungeon.
doom and gloom. It's just at the point that it's gotten to, I think is kind of.
Dungeon, I'm gonna save that shit for tomorrow, bro. I appreciate that, dog. We gonna check that out tomorrow. But thank you for sending me the info. Sorry, Cass, I couldn't resist. I know you can. Bro, I know you can't resist, dog. I know what it is, bro. I'll let you get your rocks off.
Like what's going on with them, with all the stuff. I mean, to say they don't have one thing, they have like I saw Red Dragon put that tweet. He got like 1,000 things about the guy. I think his name was Israel Perez or something. I don't know what his name was. I can look at it. But he said he's going to come out after this and he's going to talk about it in due time. And I think that kind of alludes to one problem, but there's many problems that plague this organization, and that's ultimately why I don't think that there will be a Magnus, because I believe that this stuff is coming to a head and it's going to come out.
And you can answer this any way you want, but do you?
I don't think there's going to be a future console. I really don't. Mason says, I'm embarrassed to admit I actually waited for an Xbox Series X one time outside of GameStop. If only I knew the future back then. Dude, I did the same thing at Best Buy. Matter of fact, I pulled up to Best Buy at at 3 or 4 in the morning and waited hours in the rain for an Xbox Series X. And that's because I knew at the time, like, oh man, I'm gonna get the Series X. I could play Forza Horizon 5, Halo, Infinite. Like, those things were about to come out, and I was like, oh my god, I can, let me go get the Xbox Series X. And I was excited. But little did I know the future. I waited in the rain, bro. I actually have video of that. I actually made a video. There's a video on my channel discussing the whole situation, and actually, I think I unboxed it if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, there's that. That's on the channel. That was like a really early That was an early cult classic Cage video. Holy fuck. Yo, Butch, what's good, bro?
This because you've heard things from certain people up at
Yeah.
Xbox? Okay. This is not just your thought process. This is
No. This
Yeah.
I don't. This stuff doesn't. I mean, I think they were trying to say that I crash out and then I'm a psycho and this and that, but like to use that as deflection. But this stuff doesn't like this stuff doesn't come miraculously up in my. I'm not like this stuff doesn't imaginarily appear. I mean, the thing about the sneakers thing was that he had posted some stuff that
I paid like $800 for my XSX because I got my ass whooped on Sea of Thieves and the loading time taking forever, so I was like, I need this.
Ah, man. Damn. Wow. For me, I never pay like PS5. I bought 2 of them, but I bought them both $500. Same thing with the Series X. I would never pay like inflated prices or like scalper prices for that kind of stuff. I just refused. I would just wait. I would be willing to go anywhere at any time and wait on a line for it if I really wanted it. If not, I would just wait until it was more widely available. That's just how I always was. But thank you so much for the 10, bro. He said now it's just a dust collector. Crazy, right? Yes, the cuff bus game was sadly a bust. Really, is that bad? That sucks. It looked like it was going to be kind of stupid fun. That's unfortunate. My PS5 Pro still sits in my box because nobody's optimizing for it. That's crazy. Bro, that's why when you get these Pro models, you got to wait to see how the developers utilize it. If you already have like a PS5 console, what's the incentive to run out and go buy a Pro version of the model? You know what I mean? Like, you already have access to the games to be able to play the games because you already have the next gen model. Yo, what's up, Axis? The future of console gaming is scary for someone like me. Dude, it is. It's really bad. It only has one map, 10 minutes of gameplay, and replayability, no replayability. Wow.
was
Crazy.
obviously he posted the whole thing about them going multi-plat and all that stuff. Everything he posted came true, but there was one thing that he didn't mention, and he mentioned about like the stuff about like the social stuff and the parasocial stuff, and that kind of really hit me. Like I was like, holy shit! Like there's certain things that I recalled, and that's when my mind started spinning, and that's when I was like, oh my god! And then I thought of things, and I recalled certain things, and I'm like, holy fucking shit! And then I was just like, you know what? And then I pointed back to my regret, and I'm like, am I gonna really think
bro.
about this and try to uncover this and talk about it, or am I just gonna just leave it alone and let somebody else talk about it? And or who gives a shit if it doesn't come to light? It's not. I don't give a shit. I'm not wasting my time anymore. Obsessing about this shit.
Dude, I think Tim Dog is this is why, dude, I really feel like there's serious genuine like Tim Dog talking about some real shit, bro. I'm gonna be real with y'all. It's time to give up this fanboy shit right now. I put out that video that I did.
I was waiting for the XSX release, but I was being an observer looking at PPs for DDR at the time, and when I was done they were sold out everywhere.
Yeah. It was really hard to get your hands on a console at that point. Dude, I fucking pre-ordered 2 Xboxes from, I pre-ordered 2 PlayStation 5s from Target. Specifically because I was afraid that the first one that I fucking pre-ordered would get canceled. I'm like, if I pre-order 2 of them, there's less of a chance my pre-order gets canceled. That's how dumb I was, bro. But like, I had gotten so lucky to be able to pre-order 2. But me and my boys was fighting for pre-orders, bro. And the Series X, I was like, bro, I was like, whatever. You know, it wasn't until like there was games that I was like, okay, I definitely want to play this. I definitely want to play that. That I was like, all right, I'm going to get a Series X. But even then, like the Series X was always like a for me. But yo, welcome back, Smash. Yeah, YouTube is being retarded, bro. Yeah, YouTube is being crazy today, apparently. But I really think that, you know, being a fanboy and the console war stuff is entertaining, right? But I think that it's time to fucking relax with some of this shit, because I put out my video that I did the other day, right? Talking about, you know, the future of Xbox and where we all fit into that future. I did get some pushback, bro. Some people were very upset with what I said. Thankfully, there was a lot of thoughts and criticism and just discussion surrounding the future of Xbox. Most of the comments were definitely really good or really interesting or just actually, cool, good shit. There was like a good response and a real discussion there. But then there's some people that's just like, why the fuck you talking shit about Xbox? You're a liar. And it's like you're not offering any real discussion other than you're just upset that I'm concerned of the future of gaming, really. It's not even about just Xbox, it's the future of gaming. It's time to chill back with some of this hateful fanboy shit, man. Because these companies, like, I think more than ever before, it is more important to discuss the reality. These companies are going to do the most fuck shit thing they could think of to do. Now more than ever before. Because they are transitioning into a brand new way of controlling how you interact with video games. It's more different than it ever has been, right? And I think it's going to be some scary shit. No more day one purchases, buy on sales only. Folks don't like addressing uncomfortable truths. And it's so true. It is so true. People they don't want us to talk about it. And it's so important to talk about it. And honestly, I wish that some of this shit would get leaked out. Because honestly, more people knowing about what is the actual future of Xbox or et cetera, et cetera. Honestly, all of these. I wish all this shit would get leaked out. It could really control or make these companies think again.
I got lucky. I won 2 lotteries and got both PS5s at launch for MSRP.
Nice.
Sold one of them. Barely used the damn thing, to be honest.
Yeah, I feel you, but that's cool that you at least, you got what you wanted at the time, didn't realize that you weren't going to need it so much, but it'd be like that. You sold one. So, I mean, you lucked out either way, Omega. Appreciate the 5. Nelly says they don't give a fuck about the customers no more, and it's about profits. Yes. And they're going to repackage. They're going to find a way. Their goal right now is to find a way to market the next way to fool you into paying more for less. That is the main priority right now. They're setting that up right now. And it's important to fucking talk about it. It's so fucking important because they are planning the next fucking scheme of a lifetime to talk you into giving up more of what you're used to having. And then paying more on top of it all. That's the scary thing, bro. That's why it's time to stop fucking the fanboy shit. Like, stop trying to stop people from having conversation on it, debate, discussion. You could be, I'm not telling y'all where to play your games. I'm not telling you, like you're a bad person because you're playing video games on Xbox. I'm not telling you that. Continue to do what you want to do, right? But it's important to have these discussions and to really understand, like, the grand scope of where gaming is headed. Because all the shit that we cry, bitch, and moan about now, or like previous to now even, I really think that it's gonna be like small shit in comparison to where we're gonna be at in the next 2 years. I really do. And that's why I definitely am speaking out, raising concern. Notcast post gonna be constant warring and trolling right up until they're all priced out the market. That's the tale of a typical moron. Crazy, right? Yo, Hani, what's up? Cass, hope you're doing good today. Very sorry for being late due to not only some personal shit, but also YouTube and its absolute retardation. Hani, I hope
the
everything...
majority stopped being customers and transformed into consumers. Hence the F-ish.
Yes. Yes, thank you so much, Nissan, for the 5. Hani, hope things, make a turn for the better. I appreciate you being here nonetheless, and don't worry about the whole YouTube thing. I completely understand. Do you think game sales down due to many having budgets and backlogs? I mean, it's easy for me to say no for a lot of stuff. There's so much more stuff that it's like, I mean, I wouldn't mind buying that, but it looked kind of like I could wait, Backlogs are definitely a thing. I think that a lot of people are being priced out of the market, and the future. I think there's a lot of uncertainty, and that's what's making people kind of pull back a little bit. Um, it's right now we're in a situation where it doesn't matter who is running the country, the prices still suck for everything, right? Biden, it sucks. Trump right now, I'm sorry, the prices still suck. Like, that's just the reality of the situation. And there's a lot of genuine uncertainty around everything. Gamers must be warned, especially on consoles. The future is looking dark. Everywhere it's looking dark. Honestly, even on PC, bro. I'm on Windows 11. And I feel dirty being on Windows 11. Osnot says my advice is to get yourself a retro system just in case. Honestly, I get it, but I will say this as well. The reality is retro gaming prices have also risen. Honestly, your best bet. Buy an emulator. Buy one of those handheld emulators that has all those games on it. Fuck it. Yo, Frag Monkey, what's good with you, my man? Ain't gonna lie to you, it's in my name. Cartoons is coming. Stupid cartoons was awesome in the 90s and 2000s, early 2010s. Currently, cartoons don't exist anymore. It's absolutely disappointing. Bro, I collect older cartoons, like on DVD and stuff. Prices are worse than ever, and it's getting worse. Exactly. The prices of everything is just getting awful. It's so bad. It's so scary, bro. And that's why it's like, dude, I don't want to sound all doom and gloom. We talk about things that we're looking forward to, obviously. But the next like 2 to 3 years in gaming are probably going to be the worst that it's ever been. And I want to be wrong. And if I'm wrong, tell me 100% I'm wrong. And you know what? I will be happier than a pig in shit to be wrong. But I'm really fucking scared, dude. I really am. For a multitude of reasons. Prices are astronomical. They're trying to push cloud gaming. Like, I think those are the two scariest realities, along with AI being thrown into the mix. We are in some scary times. That's what it is. Don't get me wrong, I gave in, but I use the Mario Galaxy bundle, for example. Like I always say, get the game if you want, but don't be surprised with what happens in the long run with the with what Nintendo tries. Absolutely. I mean, at least you're willing to think. It's like, I get it, bro. We only live once. We just want to play some games to have fun. Bro, I'm never going to be mad at someone for that. You know what I mean? There's people that get mad at me. And it's like, bro, I'm not perfect. I'm not here to tell you. I'm not here to pretend I'm perfect. But at least we're thinking. We're using our brain. We're always considering two sides of the coin. And that's what I just want more than anything else. Like, just consider the other side of the moon for a second, my guy. You know? I think that's important. Hey, little Miss Anonymous. Hope you're doing well. YouTube seems to be working again, so wherever y'all want to come chill at, you're welcome to come chill. I appreciate you guys showing up nonetheless. If you guys do hit the like button, it really does help out the stream, especially since I'm sure that the stream probably suffered, but either way, it was still good conversations, thankfully. Cass is so real speaking about these things. I mean, like, bro, because I care, you know what I mean? Like, I don't care. Like, literally, I created my YouTube channel with the intention of making all these companies hate me to begin with. So, me fucking shitting on all of them makes no difference to me when they're on some fuck shit. Meanwhile, those losers talking about eyeballs and Yote, or should you spend $10 more on a subscription service? Damn.
Because it's just, it made me, basically waste certain parts of it.
I've been enjoying your doodles lately, Little Miss Anonymous. You've been putting in mad work.
I was kind of used in some ways, and I do feel like that stuff was very real. So anybody wants to say like sneakers is fake and all this stuff, they're absolutely clueless. Like, I can honestly definitively say that I have an inside track on what Xbox is doing and the things that go on that maybe two people know. Like there, other than the people that I'm talking about out.
And a lot of you guys might think Tim Dog is on some bullshit, and maybe in some ways he might be, but I do think he knows more than I do. Absolutely. Like, Tim Dog does have connections to Microsoft. He does. He knows more than me in terms of, from the horse's mouth, right? And the fact that he's even concerned about Xbox, despite being a very, very long time Xbox fanboy, it's some weird shit, man. There's a lot of weird shit going on, and honestly, when you see certain people saying certain things, it makes you raise an eyebrow. So, which console can be considered the least anti-consumer at this point? What do you guys think? Honestly, it's crazy to say this, and you might completely disagree with me, and that's completely fair. But I think Nintendo is probably the least anti-consumer at this point, and I still think they're extremely anti-consumer. I still don't make no mistake about it. That's not me saying they're anti-consumer. I think just in comparison to all the other, like, you know, Xbox, PlayStation, I think Nintendo's will. Like, here's the one thing that makes me say this. Nintendo is willing to lose out on some money over certain things. I do think so. Yeah. But in the grand scheme of things, none of them are good. They're still out there to fuck you over. I think that here's the reality. Guys, here's the reality. What Nintendo is pushing right now, it sucks. It's an L across the board objectively. Their shit is some major bullshit. But you have to understand that Nintendo started next generation. All right. Nintendo Switch 2 is the start of 10th generation. Xbox and PlayStation aren't at 10th gen yet. And whatever Nintendo has just introduced will likely be kid shit in comparison to what Xbox and PlayStation introduced for 10th gen. That's what I'm saying. As shitty as the companies want to introduce fuck shit to you every generation, right? It's just like, how many steps are they going to take into the shit? You know what I mean? And I think that obviously Nintendo walked into sewer shit, but they're still, like, literally, they're still at the point where their feet are still touching the bottom. And then once PlayStation and Xbox cross over into 10th gen, like, they're going to be swimming in the sewer shit, and their feet are going to be nowhere near the bottom of the fucking pool. That's what I'm saying. You think that Nintendo's the worst of the three? Because I still think, like I said, I think unlike Xbox, clearly, now, current state of Xbox and Sony, Nintendo, once again, they're still willing to lose out on some money in order to keep some form of integrity. In some instances, not all of them. They've totally sold out in some ways, but I think in some ways they also will retain what makes them them. They're also willing to sue because another company innovated more than they did. And bro, I'm not here to debate with you guys on that. Nintendo does some awful fucking shit. Abso-fucking-lutely. But I still think that, unlike Xbox, Nintendo will still have some form of identity this generation. Like 10th generation, what I'm saying. Whereas Xbox already has no identity. They're just doing whatever the fuck. They, like, Nintendo, at least, I could see that they have a set plan. Whereas Xbox, they have no identity. They have no real way of communicating with their audience. And I'm saying this as someone that I don't want to Switch 2. Did I buy a Switch 2? No. Because I'm greatly concerned. 10th generation is going to be one of the most awful generations ever. I'm telling you guys that right now. You think right now is bad? Guys, do you think right now is bad? I'm telling you, I think next gen, like 10th gen, is going to be the absolute worst we've ever fucking seen. Absolute worst. 10th gen might not last. I think it's that bad, Tarnish, that 10th gen might not fucking last. I really do think that's the case. We could argue to the moon and back, right? Who's the worst? But we can agree on one thing. They're all fucking awful right now. Nintendo, PlayStation, and Xbox are awful right now. Absolutely. I'm not here to debate with you guys on that. I just think that the steps Nintendo made are not going to be nearly as worse on what PlayStation and Xbox will do. And that's just a prediction. That's just a prediction. If I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. But they didn't introduce the PS6 yet. They didn't introduce whatever the fuck Xbox is doing next. They didn't do that. They didn't do that yet. So we'll see what happens. But that's just what I'm saying, how I'm seeing where they're pushing things. And the reason why I think that Nintendo won't be the worst is because they aren't invested in cloud technology nearly as heavily yet. That's the main. I think that Nintendo is not even necessarily morally. I think they're more so technologically incapable of fucking you as hard as Xbox or Sony can. But I think if they did have like the cloud infrastructure that Xbox or PlayStation has, if they had cloud infrastructure as advanced, I think they would absolutely fuck you harder. I just think that they're technologically incapable of fucking you nearly as hard as the competition. And like I said, I could be wrong. Maybe I am. And if I am, we'll see. And, you know, if I'm wrong, when all this shit is introduced, tell me that I was wrong. Absolutely, I'll accept it. Nintendo leaves it, but they will come. Emerald, that's something we 100% can agree on. As soon as these companies can develop new technology to completely take advantage of you, they will all take advantage of you. That is a fact. 100%. Lois says cloud technology is the enemy of all tech users. I 100% agree with that. 100%. That's how I feel. And I don't look, you guys some of you all may disagree. Actually, a lot of y'all disagree, and that's completely fine. Absolutely. You're entitled to your opinion, but that's where I do stand. That's 100% where I do stand on that. And toddlers will be insulted, will be insulated from the crash. Pause. Papa Nintendo will keep selling them safe cartoon slop. True that. Nintendo doesn't fuck you in the ass with cloud, but they are technologically capable of fucking you in every other avenue. Can you name some of those avenues so we have like a more detailed example? Because I don't disagree with you, Leo, but I would just like some more tangible examples. Cloud technology sucks, but cloud technology will never replace enthusiasts who always continue to make the local alternatives. But the problem is, bro, they're trying to literally make those alternatives either not exist or be so unaffordable. That's the scary thing. And I know that, Leo, you're probably dealing with that way worse than any of us. And that's concerning to me 100%. The best part is we get to watch Nintendo fanboys versus PlayStation fanboys. The conversation is way bigger than that at this point, but yes, we all absolutely can make fun of fanboys.
Side of Xbox.
Do you think that you may know more than, say, the average journalist that inquires?
100%. 100%. I mean, put it this way.
I think the bottom is gonna fall out. And honestly, as scary as it is, I think that the sooner the bottom falls out with the current state of gaming, the better. We'll see what happens though, man. But it ain't looking too good. It really ain't.
I'm a sundress fanboy.
I'm a sundress fanboy. Oh my god. Thank you for the 5, dog. Enthusiasts are the minority though. COD, Fortnite bros wouldn't care if they had to switch to cloud. Oh, I would. That would be the thing to make me quit Fortnite. If you're telling me the only way I could play Fortnite is through cloud gaming, I'm out, bro. I quit Fortnite before for like 2 years straight. I deleted my account, couldn't recover it. I started up again. I made a new account, but I could walk away. I've done it. The fact you want gaming to fail is sad to me. But my question to you, PlayStation Gamer, is if gaming continues to chug on life support, is that any different from a failure? If gaming stays on life support?
I've talked to journalists that are asking me what the story is, and I'm not listen. If Microsoft is listening, I doubt they are, but if they are, I'm not going to be the guy that's going to be a whistleblower on this, because I'll tell you, I'm going to be honest. The way Microsoft works is people that
Most new
whistleblow
gamers
on
don't
them,
know how to
they
make
aren't very kind
games
to,
for us.
okay? And it's not something that
True
you go
that.
down and you mess with. So
I got
I'm
you,
not
Demon. Hold on.
attempting to go there. You guys.
All right, so Demon says Twitch has just let in a PDF file in Twitch's home page. As you open it up, they have a small trigger in a dipper talking about the most crazy crap ever. XQC Asmin has just talked about it. That's crazy. PDF file in Twitch's homepage, huh? Well, if it's crazy, we'll talk about it tomorrow. Guys, usually I don't go live on Wednesday. Usually I go live on Tuesdays, but I wanted to react to this, but I also wanted to give Fonz's stream, like, it's time that it could be viewed, but also I wanted to introduce, a whole new audience to Fonz, because he is a great fucking YouTuber. And a lot of you guys don't even know him. So, that's why I was like, fuck it, let's just delay the stream. I wanted to make a video anyway. And we just ran it like that. But if anything, if that's crazy, it'll be a topic of discussion for Thursday night. So
I'll say that there's a lot of dots to connect, but it's kind of easy to connect them if you really understand. Maybe it's easier for me because I had like an inside view. I played with Phil every weekend, pretty much every weekend on Friday and Saturday, every weekend.
I mean, you may not think that gaming is on life support. In some, at least to me, gaming is on life support in a sense of AAA is definitely bad. Now, if you're talking about like indies, yeah, I think the indies are doing great, better than ever because AAA is failing so hard. But I do not think that gaming in any way has us in mind, the modern state of AAA gaming. And to me, if you don't have gamers in mind, I mean, what do you have? All of what Xbox is planning to do, you think that these other companies aren't following suit? I think that if you don't, literally, Microsoft and other companies are essentially saying, and Nvidia, honestly, look at what Nvidia is doing. Dude, I'm a PC gamer, and I'll be the first to say Nvidia is a piece of shit company. Nvidia has completely forsaken all of us for AI. And the biggest question I asked in my last video was, why would you put stock in a company that is taking its stock out of you? These companies are literally doing that in front of our faces, and we're just gonna turn a blind eye. Let's just pretend none of this is happening right now. Like, I don't see how that's realistic. The world's changing as a whole. Nothing stays the same forever. I think that is just an excuse for I'm just going to accept whatever happens in the future. And you could do that, but guess what? The world may be changing in our bubble in America, but guess what? The impoverished people in China, things aren't changing for them. The impoverished people in all these other countries that don't have nearly as much as us, nothing's changing for them. Except maybe their life might get worse. So you could act like, hey, man, the world is changing, but the mass majority of the world is not changing. Nothing, their shit is not changing at all. Over here, we got first world problems, motherfucker. Like, we're worried about global warming over here in America, right? Global warming, whether you believe in it or not, I don't care. But guess what? The motherfucker in an impoverished country doesn't give a fuck about global warming. They will burn as much fossil fuels as possible to feed their fucking kids. Period. Period. They don't give a fuck. So the world is not changing, brother. They're just manipulating you into believing that it's changing. But for the mass majority, the 99%, all right, the 90%, right? Let's be fair with the percentages. For the mass majority of the world is not changing at all. The struggle stays the fucking same. It's just a lot of that. Every time they say that, it's really just gaslighting.
Things and stuff like that scheduled. Hey, well, you're going to be on. Yeah, I'm going to be on this and that. So like I talked and I learned and I talked to many people at Microsoft too, because they all knew that I was friends with Phil. I was greenlit basically. Like I was like, okay, I'm one of the guys. The thing about me that was different is that
it's true. Tim Dog definitely had
bolted, and they trusted me. And I was the guy that was the one, you could look and you could see all the people that they have that influence for them, or journalists that kind of always come out to their defense. Those guys are basically, if they bolt, then, it's kind of like a thing where like, okay, you're with us or you're not. And I was the guy that they just really didn't expect to go rogue on them. And the reason why I went rogue is for one reason.
So Tim Dog, so if you guys didn't know, because I know a lot of you guys don't know Tim Dog. So Tim Dog, for a long period of time, was an Xbox fanboy. All right, he completely Xbox fanboy. Motherfucker used to play games with Phil Spencer. He definitely had connections to CEOs or just people in the industry in the Xbox corner. He definitely had connections. Eventually, Tim Dog literally went to being a PlayStation fanboy for like a year or some shit like that. When Phil Spencer fucking said, it's only 4 games, Tim Dog said, fuck you. I'm not gonna lie, I roasted his ass. So did a lot of other people. And he basically said, yeah, I'm out. Fuck this. And so that's kind of like the backstory with Tim Dog. When he says he went rogue, it means that he stopped cheerleading for Xbox and started cheerleading for PlayStation.
Because they told me that transparency was the number one thing. I heard things like, we lost honesty and trust with the customer with DRM, and now we're just trying to win back that trust. And when they basically weren't being transparent, my fucking alarm bells went off, and that's when I went fucking bananas, and that's when I brought all the stuff with that February day in 2024, and everything that I fucking said, excuse my language, but everything that I said is coming to truth, to fruition. Like everything. I said, this is going to happen with this. And people were like, I said that the division went bankrupt. I had that guy from Boulder Gate 3, like making fun of me, like, oh, you're going crazy, guy. Like, are you okay? That piece of shit from Boulder Gate 3. Whatever his name is. From, I don't know.
Oh, man.
But like,
yeah.
Tarnished Gamer says, Tim Dog, salty, Phil dumped him. Let's be honest. I'm sure that he is. But I also think that a lot of what Xbox is doing, I'm sure that he knows more than me, and that he's just like, bro, this is fucking insane. This is scary shit. So Tim Dog just needs to quit gaming so the curse can be lifted from the industry. The curse of Tim Dog is real. It is real. So Tim Dog pulled a crap gamer. Yes, but I think Tim Dog actually does have more knowledge than Crab Gamer by a lot. Crab Gamer is a fucking retard.
But like, he took a shot at me, and it was like,
yes, Tim Dog's story is very much a cautionary tale. 100%.
Like, I knew what was going on inside. I knew they weren't being transparent.
And even Tim Dog is telling us right now, like, listening to this live stream, he's literally telling us, bro, I got fucking hoodwinked, bro. And he's telling us that, bro, what I was led on to believe is crazy shit. Corpos are not your best friend. He's literally telling you this as someone that's been through it, as someone that literally had the key. He was the fanboy that had the keys to the mansion.
Transparent. And guess what? They're not being transparent. But now, moving forward with Magnus, the main thing right now, if there is going to be a future, and that's the thing with this podcast, is we're talking about that, they have to be transparent. They have to come out tomorrow.
I'm going to tell you something right now.
That's the thing. Bro, Fonz is right. They're not going to tell you shit until it's too late. That's why I'm saying, bro, it's not what they're telling you, it's what they're not telling you. every time. That's always how I determine whether it's safe to indulge or not, at least for me, right? To take a chance. It's what they're not telling you, and they're not telling us shit. There is zero transparency with Xbox. And that is the biggest concern to me. That's why, bro, don't trust this company. Don't trust anything they got going on because they're not telling you anything.
To be. I
Well,
don't
then
care
that's
what
why I
people
said
think
there's
of
going to
me.
be no hardware.
Even if there is hardware, I don't think you're ever going to see a time where you're going to have
Oh, yes. Tim
Phil
Dog has
Spencer
had
playing with
crazy
the
takes.
community
Absolutely
and
Devastator.
doing
No,
this
that's
100%.
again.
all
I think
over.
that is long gone. I
Yeah.
think that was one way. I'm sorry to say this, but it's one way to manipulate.
But also, what you're saying, Devastator, we know that Tim Dog has had connections with Microsoft CEOs, all that, the background of Microsoft. Tim Dog, when he became a PlayStation fanboy, he didn't get access to any insider information at Sony. He has no insider information when it comes to Sony at all. So it makes sense that he would say something absolutely retarded in that fashion because he doesn't know anything about Sony's money, their all their bullshit. Like, he doesn't have the behind the scenes in that. I quit gaming when Neil Druckmann leaves Naughty Dog. I will be a retro gamer then. Well, I hope it happens soon. I mean, what?
A community. It's one way to
Yeah.
gain favor with the
The
community.
cuck
and
boy.
yeah, it's a form of manipulation. I think that sort of stuff wasn't necessarily transparency because
Take
I
care,
guarantee you
Cartoon
that there
King.
was,
Thanks so much for hanging out, brother.
many people that he would play with,
Yeah,
probably you included,
yes,
that
yes, Leo. Tim Dog absolutely stalked a dude at Best Buy and recorded him without his consent. Yes, he did.
he would tell nothing to, not divulge any real info outside of maybe something they didn't mind if it got leaked. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think they
Put it
ever
this way.
divulged any real info to you
yeah.
in those play sessions.
Well, no, it was always about like certain things, but there were times where I did get some real info. Like I did get some info. But Phil is a very smart man. Like he knows how to phrase things. He was very cryptic. It was actually to a point
Mm.
where I could like you could ask him a question, he would answer it specifically, but you would understand where he was going. Like I was the guy that told you remember I said that the Xbox had the most powerful console. Remember the whole 12 terabyte thing or the 12 T flops and
All right,
all
honey.
that
Thanks so
stuff.
much for
I
hanging
brought
out,
that
brother.
stuff
Take care of yourself.
to dealer.
Yeah.
That was me. You know, it was me. It was Jez didn't even
I
have
know.
the insights
I
got.
know you were the source of a lot of information that we got
You
down the
know,
pipeline.
but
Within
he
arguments.
never
Yeah.
said any of that stuff, though. I want
So Fonz and Tim Dog used to be connected to a really, really a big podcast back in the day. Regarding, from the perspective of Xbox, and they did have insider information. Same thing with, like, for example, BitCloud, my boy BitCloud Gaming. He actually had insider information with PlayStation as well. Prior to the PS5 launch. So these are dudes that did know some shit back in the day. They did. To what extent? Obviously, super limited, right? But they did know at least some things, and a lot of that shit became true. Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to Big Cloud.
to preface this, he never said it. It
Mhm.
was just like something that we would talk about, and he would like talk in a certain way. It was like a cryptic way that you would have to decipher, but you could kind of like figure out things. Put it that
Crab
way.
Gamer Colt
But I'll
Eastwood
say
got
this:
ruined
I
after
did
a whole
when that
the whole
whole thing
Xbox
that
Everywhere
happened
push
in
rolled out.
February.
Well, Crab Gamer is a fucking liar. And Colt Eastwood, look, I don't have a problem with Colt Eastwood now because he doesn't hype beast Xbox like that anymore like he used to. But there was a time where Colt Eastwood was absolutely a fucking liar. And I'm talking about many years before I even started doing YouTube, I had to call him out on a lie. And it actually went viral on Twitter. It was fucking hilarious. Yeah. If you notice, a lot of previous Xbox dudes are not hype beast in Xbox anymore because I think a lot of them know where their future is headed, and it's some scary shit. So, I think it's definitely interesting, and I think that a lot of people that know Xbox's future that are in on it, they're hype beasting a lot less, and Sony, for example, on their side, they don't tell anybody anything. Like, nobody knows what's going on at Sony other than what's getting leaked out. And so the hype beasts are still strong over on Sony because a lot of the hype beasts that are Sony fanboys, they don't know shit. They don't know shit.
when I went off the rails, is whatever you want to say, and I went against them, that was because of the fans. I felt like he wasn't being honest with the fans, and I wouldn't say that I felt manipulated at this point, but currently, I feel like I was manipulated,
Yeah,
and I
100%.
feel like a lot of people in the community were manipulated,
Oh, 100%.
100%.
And I
Still,
extend that out to content creators on any side, Xbox, PlayStation. If you're one of those creators, and I've said this last week on the show, if you're a creator and you do not criticize your favorite brand,
I don't think we're
you
gonna
are
get to funnies
manipulating
today,
your
guys.
audience. 100%. 100%.
and I know,
And
you
I
know
know
what,
why you do
and
it. And I don't hate on your hustle. Okay, you
I'm
do
just letting
you.
y'all know.
But I know
I
why
don't
you
think
do
we're
it. You do it for the super chat.
we're about halfway through this, and we might actually continue some of this into tomorrow's stream. I don't know. We'll see what happens. The heel turn is complete. Yeah, no funnies, damn it. No funnies. Heel turn complete.
You do it for the money, and that's something that you're going to have to deal with. But in my opinion, integrity goes a long way, and you have to have some semblance of integrity in this game.
100%.
In my opinion, to have staying power. And a lot of these people that you see, if Xbox, let's say, doesn't come out with that next console, it's going to hurt a lot of people within the community that do this type of thing. It's already hurting the community with what they're doing,
Yeah.
and them not
That's
being
that.
transparent.
All that stuff's going to come to a head one way or another. This is going an ugly route, in my opinion, and it's all going to play out. As my friend Tommy always says, just let it play out. Well, it's playing out now, and it's not going to be a nice couple of months, I don't think. And I think it's going to be
Craziness,
the
man.
layoffs are going to be very big. Like you thought that the layoffs were bad last time, they're going to be very big. And again, it used to be that the public outcry could kind of, make Xbox think twice. There's no thinking twice anymore. They're doing what they want, and it is
I
what
did
it is.
see that, Leo.
I have to say, Satya has been very patient, but it was evident to me in 2024 that this is now a troubled sector. This is now something that's going awry, and that's why I had said all those things. I could see it plain as day. I said this is going one way, and it is going that way.
Yeah, a lot of
But
people
like I
feel that
said,
Microsoft has taken the reins, and hence Microsoft Gaming
oh,
was born.
100%.
Yeah.
Mason, I think it's even worse than that. You're saying that Skynet is taking over. I say it's way the fuck worse than anything that we've seen depicted in media, because here's the reality. There are multiple companies that are in a race to become Skynet. That's how it is right now. All right, so all of these all this shit, all this media that has warned us literally about the future and AI and all that stuff, all these companies are racing to be the first Skynet. That's the problem. That's the scary thing about it when you really step it. It actually, bro, kind of give me goosebumps thinking about it. Because we've always feared that shit, bro. I literally have goosebumps. You can't see it, I'm sure, but it is some creepy shit when you think about it. That there are multiple dozens upon dozens of companies that are in a race to become the next Skynet. Fucking scary shit, bro.
100%. It's born, but the thing is that do they really want to deal with it? I mean, if they could, if they, the whole thing is that it is a small part. Like everyone says, they're a $4 trillion company. They still want money. They don't just put money into $100 billion and say, okay, do what you want. No, it's not. Where is my return on investment? And I want to say this about Sony. Sony never did the parasocial thing, so like they were smart with this. Like,
Yeah, I will say this. Sony has never tried to be friendly with consumers. Whereas PlayStation, where Xbox, like Phil Spencer has definitely played into like the parasocial relationship with their fanboys and stuff. And it definitely was kind of weird. Weird as fuck. And it's crazy to see that they're kind of throwing all those people under the bus now. And now all of them are just like, wow, we got used.
like the whole thing with the parasocial and the relationship with the community and all that, like, hey, he's one of us and we're all like all together. It did start from a genuinely good spot. Like it was a genuinely good idea, but unfortunately, it went. And this is why you don't have these type of relationship, is because history tells you that there's a reason why there isn't this buddy corporation with their community. It's because it gets ugly.
Yeah, that's why
And
PlayStation.
Sony was. That's why Sony doesn't do it.
Yeah.
That's why Sony never sent Colin Moriarty a PlayStation 4 Pro, and they said it. They were like, "Oh, we didn't even get it," because Sony, as much as people were saying they were paying off the media, they knew not to do that. They knew not to get involved with that stupidity. And looking back at it, I think Xbox did have good intentions, but it now it went a very nefarious way. Like when you're talking about like people like
But Xbox had made it no. They didn't even. The reality is they didn't hide that they were buying their goodwill. Phil the groomer. Oh my god.
Oh, fuck!
Are you wrong? No, you're not wrong. I mean that isn't a false statement. In all fairness, I'm pretty sure Tim Dog watched the wrong internet because I remember Sony paying the media almost every known tech YouTuber for the PS 5. No, he is acknowledged that. He did acknowledge that here. It's just more so Sony is they're more slick about how they do it. And it's almost like Xbox did it in a like they wanted credit for it, or just openly, like bold faced, with send people free shit all the time, all the time. With Sony, it's a little harder to it's a little harder to score the bag with Sony, especially if you're in America, especially if you're in America. Allegedly.
hey, we're going to use
Well,
them
there's
as an
different types
influencer,
of
but we're not
grooming.
going to
There's
tell them. You're
positive
going to be
grooming
their
and
friend.
negative grooming. A lot of
And,
people forget
but,
that.
you're going to, buddy, you're going to get them on Xbox Fan Fest. That's when it comes to a point where you're like you talk about integrity and you talk about all this stuff. And that's why I say right now, honestly, I do feel a certain kind of way. Like, holy shit, I'm trying to be. I think these people are my friends. Now, I do have some real friends at Microsoft, but certain people, like, dude, I was being used, and I was naive.
100%, bro.
I was being used, and I was naive to think that, like, yo, this guy's being my friend. It's like, now the joke's on me, and it's like, trust me, that's not a good feeling to have when you realize that,
Mm.
and then you look
I
at the
will say
kid
this
and you
though,
look at your life.
there are a couple of guys that I will give them credit. And you don't even have to comment on this if you don't want to, but
Yes, they're good people.
Jason Ronald, amazing
Yes, good.
person, constantly,
Used to have a
when
server called Skynet.
he'll get in contact with me at times, and check in on me and everything, especially since my parents died and everything. Really great person. And also Aaron Greenberg is another one who
Yes.
is very
Awesome.
much the same.
Right.
And I know people give Aaron a lot of flack, the marketing and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, I truly believe that Aaron himself is a good person. And this has nothing to do with
I know, he's a great
Xbox giving
person.
me stuff, because Xbox doesn't give me stuff. Xbox, matter of fact, Aaron Greenberg and Jason are the only two guys that have ever followed me on Twitter out of the Xbox camp. Like, even when I played games that one night with Phil, when you brought me in there to talk to Phil, we talked for like 2 hours, and Phil never followed me. And so I never, looked at him like, oh, he's a friend. Never looked at Aaron in quite that way until this year. I was like, wow, Aaron is actually a real, genuine human being, and so is Jason, big time.
Let me
And
just say
despite
this.
what I say about Xbox, it doesn't reflect what I feel about those two human beings. I think they are
And
legit.
let me just
people.
preface this by so let's piggyback then and honestly say that I only have one problem with this with one person, and you guys can figure out who it is. Everyone else I
But
have
Phil
zero
Spencer, I'm
problems with.
assuming.
They were very good people. Aaron is a wonderful person. I only really have a problem with one person,
Mhm.
and I definitely do feel used. I feel manipulated, and that's
Funny
just the
Phil
way I feel. But
Spencer wouldn't
is it
follow
something
Tim
that I'm gonna
Dog, but
let like
followed
really bother
Alex.
me? Not really. I mean, that's why like
Well, let's be
No,
honest.
I think he did follow Tim Dog. No, it's Fawn saying that that Phil Spencer never followed him. Alex is just too followable.
I'm going on
In
with
the
my
beginning,
life.
it did. It did. In the beginning, it did.
Yeah,
You
well,
moved on
the
from
last
it. Yeah.
kind of like the realization came last week though, Fon.
Yeah.
Like
Really?
when I saw that, yeah, like I didn't know I was like it would maybe I thought like okay, but then like I realized like it's like something like you ever have something happen, you kind of look back
Oh yeah.
and
100%.
you look back at things
You
and you kind of like look at it and then you're like, oh my god,
the thing
that's
that you
that's the
told me
moment that I had.
the thing that you told me that we're not going to discuss here, I'm sorry, I wish we could, people, but the thing that you told me when you said that one word, it all fucking clicked, and I understood exactly why I've been feeling like Xbox has been going down this route for years.
Yeah,
It totally clicked, and I was like, if we could say this to people, it would click for everybody. Everybody would understand, and it would be so easy to see. And that's why I implore people, connect the dots. Just look at look at
You know,
man, I
yes,
can't.
connect the dots. But you know what it is, and don't even go because I don't want you.
Yeah,
to
I don't.
I think we all have some homework to do. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go look at all these CEOs, read up on them, probably look at their LinkedIn's tonight, see what I find. Exactly, find the word, find it, find it. Lois, thanks for hanging out, brother. Take care of yourself.
I know. I'm not gonna ruin that.
You know what I mean? But like the thing is that clicking moment that you're talking about,
Yeah.
that's what happened to me.
Yeah.
God is my witness on my daughter. That's exactly what happened to me. And that happened.
It's
That was when I
obviously neighbor.
deactivated. I
Oh
was
man,
like, oh
what's
my
the
God,
word?
like this is just wow.
Doc Dark,
It
I'm
is
not
really-
going to say that word because I am not going to get implicated into anything. I don't want anything legal coming my way. I will tell you that right fucking now. But I know exactly what it is, and it's like it's so
So
obvious.
they have a Mac.
Imagine knowing. All right, so just imagine being in a situation where you know, like, shit is about to go really bad, and you can't say anything about it. Like you know what's gonna happen. It's like, bro, Fonz and Tim Dog are Fonz and Tim Dog are fucking. They're Sarah Connor right now. Holy fuck, dog. Look what they try to do to Sarah Connor. They call her crazy, throw her in the crazy house. Now, but in the real world, no, you just get sued into oblivion.
They have a bunch of problems. So they don't
do.
have one scandal.
It's a
they
lot.
Have like,
it's a lot.
They have like five.
Absolutely, Dark always be trying to stir the pot. 100%,
there
bro.
are people that now are seeing, they're following the dots, and there are people
Shout out to
that
Dark.
are asking me, hey, what's going on? We know something's going on there. We know this is now too weird. And you know what? The way they've operated just in the past,
Yeah.
it's just not a way you should operate, in my opinion.
Well, again, I go back to this not being the Xbox you once knew. I go to Microsoft Gaming now, and what does Microsoft do with the rest of their product lines? Are they the best at managing product lines outside of Windows, let's say? No, they're not.
Well, they
the
have
best
a problem
at that.
with the studios is a problem, major problem.
I think the whole
and they
division is a
also-
problem for Microsoft.
Yeah,
The entire
they do.
division.
They have, but they do have certain things that I do think, like the first thing, like I said, the first thing is the transparency. Even though that they're like, okay, we're just going to price gouge and we're going to get money and we don't care what public opinion is. They do still have a lot of people that kind of really want them to do good, including myself. Even with all the shit that I said, I'm willing to say, all right, you know what? Because I don't think that I think they're going to have a whole management.
But that's the
team.
thing. I don't see that happening, Tim. As much as people will be screaming at us right now, saying, "Why not?" Xbox will never come back. They're not going to do what they used to do. They're not going to be what they used to be. It's impossible.
Not only are they going to go back, not only are they not going to be what they used to be, but they're not even going to be for gamers at this point, bro. It's some scary shit. Dude, it's like, it's so deflating, bro. It's so deflating. Shit is really. Like I said, guys, and you could fucking shit on me for this. You think Nintendo's bad? Wait until the big two go into next gen. I'm telling you, bro. It's business. Never let feelings get in the way. Absolutely. And and Tim Dog is now the dude. Like I think he's just gonna walk away. Here's my prediction. Tim Dog's just gonna walk away altogether from our space, because where does he fit in now? Bro, you were the dude that was glazing the fuck out of Xbox back in the day. You had insider information. And you had the keys, right? But, like, it's not like the people are going to trust you or accept you now. His only aspect now is to just walk away. He said he deleted his Twitter and stuff. I don't blame him. I don't blame him. When you got your company, OG Laura Fryer, side-eyeing the company, what future do you have? Absolutely. And we pay over here, bro. We definitely keeping tabs on Laura Fryer, because she definitely obviously knows a fuck ton. And I would love to see like a real conversation where she really talks about like the shit that's going on. Like, she only talks about certain things that she can talk about because there's no legal ramification for talking about the past, right? Like back when she was working there, because that's many, many moons ago. But I would love to hear what she would have to say about the current state of where Xbox is headed.
at this point,
No,
especially
they need an overhaul though. They need somebody in charge, and I do believe that's going to happen. So what I do think is going to happen is that you're going to get a new CEO if they even go ahead with this. So it's either this or they just can the whole thing and start selling it off. In my opinion, that's what they're going to do.
well, because I mean, let's look at this
Just
short
make it-
term. Let's look at the short term. Next year, they plan on having a few games, Forza Horizon 6, which is one of their biggest games, one of their biggest franchises. Honestly, it's but it's in a category that's considered niche when we're talking about the whole of video games, racing, you know. But it is one of the best. It's heralded as one of the best.
a blockbuster. It's
that's
a huge,
coming out.
It's their biggest game. It's their biggest game. Now,
And that should do very well, especially in Japan.
Huge,
But
yeah.
when you look at their other titles and you look at how far, let's say even Gears has fallen off, people are excited about Gears E-Day. I'm excited about Gears E-Day. But is the casual market excited about Gears E-Day? I'm not so sure anymore.
Wow.
But here's the thing, though. What I'm looking at is this one game they've got that is stirred up some excitement, and I'm thinking this could be a franchise that they renew and put on the map again, which is Fable. And I'm looking at Fable and I'm like, Fable has to hit. It has to land. This is the one game I think that they have to rest everything on. I mean, what else is coming out besides Fable and Gears E-Day for them? I mean, when we're talking about a big franchise or whatever, Fable to me, when I look at that, and this just could be a me thing.
Dude, Fable doesn't even resemble anything Fable. That's why, like, and I'm not even a Fable fan, right? I've only played like some of Fable 2 on 360 back in the day. I was like, I thought it was interesting, but I wasn't really into it. But if you're the type that, if your game is like, hi, we're gonna do what we want to do, we're just gonna slap an old game, an old franchise name on it, like, fuck you, I don't want no part of it. Can't wait to play Fable Trilogy on my 360. Hey, Fable won't do it, let's be honest. Absolutely not. I mean, who is the new Fable for? I don't think that shit is for old Fable fans. Forza Horizon 6 without any gameplay, so who cares? I mean, I care. I will say that I do care about the next Forza Horizon. I don't need to see gameplay to know what I'm gonna get, because the last like 3 Forza Horizon games have been relatively samey, but have also been what I wanted out of Forza Horizon. So that's just me being honest. I think I've seen more hardware announcements from Xbox than I have seen new games from them. Yo, honestly, that's been the same thing across the board between Xbox and PlayStation. It's kind of crazy, right?
It has to really resonate with a lot of gamers out there and has to be a massive hit for me to say, okay, maybe Xbox can do this.
I caught a Ziggy.
I'll be honest, and I know a lot of people say, I don't
Caught
like games or
a
whatever. Fonz
cat
doesn't like games.
zigzagoon.
There's a lot of games I love. I play a lot of games that you guys
caught a
might not
zigzagoon.
like. There's Expedition 33 is my game of the year. I love that freaking game. I love PoE 2. I play a shit ton of that. I've got well over 700 hours in that. But there's certain, if I look at certain games within Xbox, let's say this past few years, I haven't been really that excited about any of them. Starfield was the one I was really excited for, and I had a great time with it.
Yo, Starfield was
liked
mid.
But
I
didn't love it. I
Yeah,
didn't
exactly.
love it like
I like Starfield, but realistically, Starfield was mid. Like that's just the reality, bro. You know, I put a lot of hours into Starfield and I enjoyed it. But Starfield could have been way better than what it was. Let's be real now. Right, Ziggy? Ziggy's built like a tiger, like a lazy one. Them Starfield NPCs though, yeah.
should have. And even looking at Bethesda, which I consider one of their biggest studios out there, I'm not totally like secure in thinking that their next game is going to be fantastic, because they're still relying on an engine that, let's face it, it's kind of old.
With love.
And I'm looking at what other franchises they have, what other games they have coming out in the short term, and I'm like,
this so
they've
much.
got Fable, because they got rid of Perfect Dark. That could have been one of those.
At least for 5 minutes.
Fable has to land, in my opinion, for me to be like, okay, maybe this will work for them. Maybe they can turn something around. And I really,
my thing is, I have to wonder what people are expecting out of Fable. If they liked older Fable, You know what I mean? Because it doesn't take a fucking genius to look at this new Fable and be like, yeah, what the fuck is this? You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't take a genius to know that. So I don't know, bro. I think it's just kind of weird that people are somehow like old Fable fans are somehow excited for the new one, other than the existence of the franchise is being acknowledged. Which I mean, in the grand scheme of things, like, what the fuck is that worth? You know? All right, I'm gonna leave him alone. He's starting to whine. He when he goes.
Really rested a lot on Fable.
Yeah,
I'm surprised nobody's talking
understand, but
about Blade because they
I
haven't
was- I
shown
had high
anything in
hopes
so
for
long,
Fable,
Mason.
But now knowing of what I've
And here's the thing, Mason. Here's the reason why. With Xbox, they'll announce something, and then who knows when you'll ever see it again. You know what I mean? So obviously, people are trained to know that, so that's why they're not talking about it anymore. Because like, when are we ever going to see it again? Who the fuck knows, right? I liked Starfield for the first 30 hours. After that, I dropped it because it got old. To me, the only reason why I kept playing Starfield for like the over 200 hours that I did was because it just felt like a cozy game to me. And I just enjoyed it for that. It just felt like a fun, cozy game.
heard, like their kind of issues that they're having. I don't know. I don't
That
think
skill belt, oh man.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. That's just my guess.
And I'm wondering this too. Speaking about Fable,
delayed too.
Yeah. Okay. So
I
a
don't
lot of
think
people are
that's
expecting a
anything.
delay. A lot of people are expecting it's not coming in
Yikes.
2026. I've heard
The
that. as
big
well.
fucking yikes, bro.
But let's say,
Carry on, though.
what about what they showed of Fable? Could that be a situation, sort of like the Perfect Dark situation, where they just created that
I
for?
was thinking the same thing.
See, I don't even know. See, this is why Microsoft is
I
the
like
most
that big-
untrusted company. They're not
Yes,
trusted.
like, well, that's great.
Yeah, after it's been discovered that you created like fake gameplay in order to just impress people, like no gamer should fucking trust you. I mean, let's be real now. Like that should be the most taboo thing in all of fucking gaming. To create fake gameplay to impress gamers. That should be the most taboo. Period.
It's very funny that you brought that up because I thought about that the other day. I'm driving and I'm like, like they did that with Perfect Dark, but you know what? And then I specifically thought about remember when she's like a little the giant, they start it and he's like a giant. I'm like, how does that tie in? Is that really going to be in the game, or was that just a prop, or was that just like something that was just
Kind of like a
wow
fairy
us?
tale thing, like just a
Yeah,
narrator
or it's like
talking
some
about. Yeah, I don't know.
exactly, or like something like being misled, and that's why I'm talking about the transparency thing, Franz. It's like right now the APB or whatever you want to say, the 411 is out on them. Like nobody's trusting them, and to be honest, I don't even know if they are like I don't think that they can be trusted. But now, like they have this major problem. It's like if they're not transparent now, like they don't say what like maybe what their plans are. Like I would have came out and said, okay, yeah, we're full.
Dude, that Milo shit is fucking creepy, bro. That Connect Milo shit, I do remember that. That shit was so fucking creepy. Let me see. Bro.
Science fiction writers, filmmakers, they have
Of us. I don't believe it.
This is the first time that thousands of people are going to see this.
That's Milo.
Thousands of people.
Philip.
Here we're seeing Claire being recognised,
Actually,
and the emotion in Claire's voice being recognised, and that emotion reflecting in Milo's face. Those are all being seen for the first time.
so
It's
listen,
so fucking
I was
creepy,
thinking
bro.
today you should let me beat you at football again. That is if you finished your homework. You have finished your school project. Are you
What
okay?
happened there is that Claire knew Milo so well, she knew when he was worried about something. His head was down, he wasn't looking at the
So at E3 2009, I'm assuming that this is all correct information. There was this Project Milo that Xbox showed off using Kinect, where you can like talk to this little fucking kid. It's so weird, fucking weird as shit. It's almost like they knew that people were gonna not have kids. Yo, Oh man, 2,000 dislikes because it's genuinely fucking creepy, Mason. Like
Well,
in
on
my
Magnus,
opinion.
we're doing it.
You like her
You know, we're
accent?
not some PR
Yeah, she
guy
did
that
have a
works
nice
on a
accent.
Sunday that no connection to Xbox. Like I hear Destin calling Costco. He's like talking to some stupid manager. Like, dude, like
Yeah, it
where are these
wasn't
guys?
AI, it was a
Like
video.
it's like
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it was fake, like the fake like it's fake AI. And to be honest with you, Microsoft are notorious for being fucking liars.
okay. If Phil said we're committed to Magnus,
Yeah, I
like we
man, look
used
more
to
into it. It's
do
like some
back
fake
in the
AI
day,
bullshit
put
that
out
they
the
were trying to pull on
fires,
people using
then it would be
Connect.
something like, okay, like we could believe him. Now it's like, okay, why isn't Phil or Sarah tweeted since September 30th? Like, it's very odd. They both simultaneously never went that long since they've had accounts to have a space like that where they haven't tweeted, and it's still going as of when I went on this because I've been watching it.
Yeah.
It's like they can't really be trusted. That's the problem right now. Can you trust them? And I think the answer is a resounding no.
Yeah, it's a good point, Leo. Leo said, yeah, it was fake AI, but they told you from back then that's the path they wanted to chase. And look at us now. We have real AI, and that does just that. Not wrong, my guy. Not wrong.
And I think everyone knows that.
Whatever
So, like,
whatever
how are you
real
going to
AI
build
is
momentum?
now,
How
because
are you going to get something
bro, I
people
have
to
so
buy
many
something
questions.
And usually
that
you build
sounds
momentum.
like great?
Yeah, but usually you build that as a gaming company with the games, and it's like
Yes.
you can't build that around Forza Horizon. Like, yes, that's a great racing game, but again, that's not something that's really.
Oh
Gonna...
yeah, yo, Frag Monkey, I was big on 360. I was such a 360 fanatic back in the day. It's crazy that they lost me, bro. It's crazy that they did.
Build you being the biggest third-party publisher
Right.
out
It's
there.
not a GTA. It's still a big game,
And
but
and
not
and I know a lot of people hate to hear, especially Xbox guys. They hate to hear that, some of us out there want to see them make a big, game, sort of like a Sony game or something. Where is that for them? Like, where's their
Oh
Wolverine?
no, good luck with that
There's
shit.
many people out there excited for Wolverine. Where is that for them? And we've been asking for things like that for years. These big, open world cinematic, over the
Right.
third person, over the shoulder action adventure games and stuff like that. We're not getting that from them. And
Yeah.
and, and,
Well,
and
you're
I
not
don't.
getting that.
Yeah, I don't see that happening. I don't
No,
see
and
it
also
happening.
then you go back to the thing. Well, if they did, they don't have exclusivity now. So now everything's on PlayStation. So not only does PlayStation get the Wolverines, the Last of Us 3s, and all these unbelievable games, but they would now.
Yeah, this does go into more like this is more like fanboy shit in terms of like, hey, we want Microsoft to directly compete with PlayStation with these particular games, like trying to outdo PlayStation at what PlayStation's doing. It's more of like a fanboy take. And I mean, it's I'm sure that there's some people that want that, but it's not a whole across the board thing for sure. Sony has Wolverine, Xbox has Blade, maybe, but
Now get the
Xbox
Blade.
games. Yeah.
The Blade. So it's like
The Forza
they have
Horizon
all-
6.
Devastator, I don't think we're gonna
Right,
get to
exactly.
funnies
I mean,
today.
so it's like something where, like,
Because
from
this is
all
a long
angles they're getting hit
podcast.
from, and it's like, where is
Sorry about that though, brother.
the
I know that you do look forward to it.
focus,
I'll see what I could
and where
do
is
tomorrow.
the path that they set forward? I don't think that they can even tell you that. That's why I say they need a complete management change and somebody with a vision that they can stick to, and somebody that can clean up all these messes. Otherwise, then the other answer is to simply
Can I
blow
ask
it
you
up.
something really quickly, since you do know
Oh.
several people within the executive branch there in that division? Do you think there's anybody there that could clean it up right now?
I can tell you this much. There was one guy that actually asked Jay Allard, what can we do? This is in 2024. They asked Jay Allard. I know everyone's familiar with them. The Xbox fans, if you're a true Xbox fan, you know who Jay Allard is. And he said it's unfixable. So when you get a guy like that saying that,
Crazy.
and that's what I was told.
Wow.
So because I think they're looked upon by like guys like Jay, Sean Layden, everyone, like nobody wants to touch it because they,
It's
they
a lot of
kind of
studios
know
to try
Sorry,
to handle too,
Devastator.
the studio. And listen, there's no accountability too. There's also a thing with accountability. Like, let's be honest. It's like, how does this guy Booty? How does you could make an argument for Phil,
Booty.
but you can make an argument for anybody, to be honest. But
Oh man.
like the guy, there's people like Booty who's getting a
There's
promotion.
people like
Yeah.
Booty.
He's like how, like, what's going on here?
Yeah,
Like,
I've asked that question
this,
for a while. Like,
you
what
know,
has he been doing?
Let me see.
Every time we
uh,
hear that there's a studio in
I'm gonna look
turmoil,
up
I'm
Matt
like,
where
Booty
is
right
what
this
is
now.
Booty
yeah.
doing? What's going on with Booty?
Yo,
Listen, the hits are going to keep on coming. That's all I can say. This is not going to a place where there's a positive momentum spot. That's why I'm like, you're like, Tim, are you really sure that they're doing
looking at
this
his
hardware? And
LinkedIn
I
right
keep
now.
telling you, nah, I don't think they're doing it, man. I think that I don't see a path set forward that they can fix this. Or I don't see, maybe there is a way, but you know what? And I come from a genuine spot. Like when I remember I was on the podcast with, I think, Mooch, and we talked about Forza Horizon. And I got a little glimmer of hope. I'm like, maybe they're going back to timed exclusivity, and they have a vision of like, hey, we're going to do this proposition. We're going to give you Game Pass. We're going to give you 6 month exclusivity, which helps us in our studios
Yeah.
and the way we're developing games, and it puts you guys back as a focal point and gets you back on us. There's no this. They don't. You don't know what they're doing
That
because they're not talking.
it's not about timed exclusivity. After all, it was just about needing time to make a PS5 version.
Right, which, but that's the thing. It's all up in the air. But again, it's me trying to say, okay, thinking. It was like
Wishful
I'm,
thinking. That's what you were
I'm
doing.
gonna I'm gonna read something to you guys.
All right.
I'm just gonna read something to you, and I'm not gonna say who it is, but I'm
Yo,
not gonna say
78
this is
Ink was
somebody
good,
that
fam.
I would say that you all know. And
We're currently listening to Xbox discussion, the future of Xbox. So it's definitely been pretty interesting so far. Just hearing from Tim Dog. He's been he's had connections with Xbox people, like higher ups and stuff. So he knows at least a little more than I do in regards to Xbox in general. How the heck do you react to someone's entire podcast? Doesn't that take views away from fans or potential traffic? It does to an extent, but also I made sure to, like, literally, the main reason I delayed my Tuesday stream to Wednesday was to let his video just um to literally let his video stay out there, because obviously I don't want to take views away from Fonz, but to be fair, a lot of my audience doesn't even know who Fonz is. And with that, we introduced him. Fonz pulled up to the chat, and we had discussion. Obviously, this is transformative. It's not like we watched the entire podcast and I didn't say anything. We were Fonz was in the chat talking. I mean, Fonz is not upset at all. Fonz knows that absolutely I 100% have all the best intentions for him. So there's a lot of people prior to this, like I said, didn't even know Fonz gaming was a thing, and obviously we give Fonz all the props, man. But yeah, like with Fonz, I specifically waited to let his podcast get out there, and he got 2.6K views, man. He's doing his thing.
respect. But I'm gonna read something, and it basically regards to Xbox. Okay.
Yo, look at
It says,
Man trying to
and we were talking about
bro, he always pull up trying to start some shit, dog. Well, what you thought? Me and Fonz, we ain't gonna fuck with each other no more? That he's gonna heel turn on me, dog? Is that what you hoping for? You stirring the pot? I see how it is,
So
man.
this is their
Always
response.
pot
I mean,
stirring,
look,
man. Can't pull up and just be
we know where they
supportive.
are going.
Always
so
got to
you
be on
just have
some
to accept
bullshit.
It is what it is. We can't do anything about it. Even though it seems pretty obvious it's not going to work, nothing either one of us can do can stop it, no matter what we think. Now, if you guys knew who that person was, you'd kind of be like, wow. So, like, you got to understand from my perspective, when I have people telling me this, that I'm a very well respected person that knows a lot and
Look,
very
the main reason why No Fonz absolutely has no issue with me reacting to his stream is because I know more than anything else, Fonz wants more people to know what the fuck is up. More than anything else, because that's what he cares. Fonz has always communicated that he cares about the people and gaming and our hobby and how we're able to engage with it. Like, I know that more than anybody else, arguably, Fonz cares more about that than anything else. Obviously, that doesn't mean I would absolutely, obviously, it doesn't mean I would take advantage of Fonz or anything right there, right? But he wants as many people to know what the fuck is up as possible, or to at least think a little bit, right? Because we have very little of that these days, sad to say.
very knowledgeable, very smart, and they're saying stuff like that. Why do you think that I'm going to be like, hey, everything's great, guys?
Yeah.
Magnus is coming. We're going to take over. Like,
Mhm.
like there's no hope. And that's the thing. It's just like I want there to be hope. I want us. Like I said, we talked about a lot of stuff here, but the madness, in theory, could really be something actually that could work. It could be something that could be a entry point PC pre-built that is pretty awesome. But
Bro, honestly, dog, I think the only thing that's really gonna make people wake the fuck up is like a major fucking leak. Like a major leak that gives away extreme details of the truth. Obviously not lies, but the fucking truth of where the plans is headed. Then build a PC then. Just get a PC. Yeah, Tarnish, Mason, I mean 100%. Obviously, right? Build a PC, build a PC, build a PC, but just there's people that don't want to do it, bro. I don't know what it is that for some reason they need their logo on that shit. I don't know. I don't get it.
can they convey
They
that to
need
us
that
and have
logo,
our
bro.
trust with this? The answer is
That
no.
logo means a lot to them
They
for
can't get
whatever
that
reason.
off the ground or get that kind of path set forward. They can't. They have the problems with the studios. They have the problems over here. They have the problems over there. They got this scandal. They got that scandal. They got some. They don't. They're not talking. Then nobody's saying anything. They. It's all. It's like such a headache. You don't think that Sati has people in his ear that are from like the finance division and people that are looking at the situation be like, Sati, cut ties, man. Just break it off. You use that money. We're gonna take a loss here. We're gonna maybe sell this for 100 billion or whatever,
Yeah.
or we could break it up and sectionalize it and sell it and whatever. Take some parts and make money, slim it down, make it all AI, and then we take that money. Let's just invest it into an AI starter company or AI type technology and just be done with Xbox and be done with this headache. You don't think that's being talked about right now? I mean, like,
Oh yeah, dude. I feel like, bro, they've been, to be honest, Tim Dog isn't even saying anything new. They were considering this back Xbox One generation. So this is nothing new. I think that I think Microsoft more so keeps around like the Xbox gaming division because they know that it entertainment influences culture. 100%. It's all about control. I mean, I think there's a multitude of reasons for them to keep Xbox around. I think that maybe at some point they feel as though it could make a turnaround. But yeah, they've been considering just offloading Xbox for fucking forever. But now they made this major fucking deal acquiring Activision, so they got to keep at least they have to just, instead of getting rid of Xbox, they just have to mold it in a way that benefits them. They're just going to repackage what Xbox is. That's really the goal. Because this is as close to a box as they are going to get. You ain't lying, salty butterbags.
it's not Tim being crazy or Xbox guy people hating on Microsoft. No,
No,
these
I mean,
are real logical things that you would think that are being talked about, like they are.
I know a
So
lot of
like,
times
what else can I say?
you got people out here that will fanboys will fanboy, and they'll talk about how the Xbox is giving them the best games, and it's like, if you just be a little bit objective and you look into, say, pick a game like, let's say Avowed.
Oh my god.
Objectively, this game is not well received by most people.
No.
Matter of
Fucking
fact,
awful game.
did you know that? Well, we don't know how many has sold on the Xbox side because that's never been divulged. But they say that we've had 1 million players or whatever they say on the game, right? But again, the thing I reiterate about Game Pass is when a game is in Game Pass, there's many people who will try a game, and whether or not they try it for a minute or 10 hours, that's counted within that million gamer
Yes.
count that they put out there. And so that's never like a big tell for me. It really isn't. What's a bigger tell for me is I look over at, say, I'm looking at it now, Steam. They've sold a little over 150,000 copies of Avowed. Is that really moving the needle, guys? No. And then you've got games like South of Midnight, sold even less.
Oh yeah. And listen,
and this is the type of stuff that you're getting, and people will run with this saying, this is why I love Game Pass. And it's like, is it really? I mean, are these games?
Like for me, when it comes to like games like that coming to Game Pass, it's like, I don't even think it's necessarily like, in some situations, like having access to Game Pass is great, right? Like when Xbox dropped fucking Elder Scrolls Oblivion Remaster, and Expedition 33 was also literally came out the same week Game Pass day one. That's when it's like, oh my God, I'm so excited to have I can imagine people with Game Pass, like, I'm so excited to have Game Pass because I'm really looking forward to these games. And then there's some games that come out on with Xbox that's like, oh man, I'm so excited to have Game Pass so I don't have to waste money on these games. It just depends on the certain on situationally what's coming out. But there's a lot of situations where, like, yeah, I'm actually excited that I could play these games day one and not throw all this money at it, because sometimes games gang up on you, right? In terms of release dates crossing over really close to each other, and then there's just like, well, I was kind of curious, so at least I don't have to waste fucking $70 on this shit. Because the fact that Avowed is a $70 game, um, whoever thought that was acceptable, they should be strung up by their balls, flat out. Avowed is not a $70 game. It's not a $60 game. I would argue it's not even a $40 game.
Game's really moving the needle for you. Maybe for some it is. It's all subjective. But if you look at it objectively, it's really not moving that needle.
And also, like, I have to say, like, Colin
Nothing pisses
Moriarty
me
is
off
one
more
of the
than wasted
biggest
potential. Yep.
naysayers about Game Pass, and it used to piss me off. But he stayed consistent with this, and he's proven himself right. Like, you look at Game Pass, and you look at the way it's structured. I think Sean Layden's another guy that's been very critical of it. The math's not mathing. So, like, a game like South of Midnight cost a ton of money to make, or it cost a lot of money. A game like even Doom
I don't
cost
think it
a lot
costs
of
that
money.
much money.
They're not making the money that they're not getting the returns on all these games. So theoretically, they're taking the losses. Well, they are literally taking losses on these games. It all adds up. There's not, like, the math doesn't just math up. And that's the thing. Like, they were like, oh yeah, 5 billion. Okay. So then why are you raising the price 50%? It's like,
and that's also another reason why they don't really want to spend much on these games as well.
Right.
Because
yeah,
the
like
return just isn't there. Even if you're getting $5 billion within Game Pass, let's say that's still happening for you, even with the $30 increase, or the $10 increase, I should say, $30 a month.
Right.
You're still looking at a situation where you're still having to put X amount of games in there. And now they're promising 75 new games a year, up from 50. So you're getting 25 more new games a year. But what does that really entail? They didn't really tell you what you're getting. A lot of that is going to be what you're getting now, which is a lot of indies and smaller games that, again, I tell people all the time, within Steam sales, you can find for a couple of dollars. And
yeah, like, honestly, if you're going to choose to indulge in Game Pass, I think it's like, dude, it's such a situational thing. Like, to be a consistent subscriber, I feel like you're going to be screwed. Like, if you selectively, like, hey man, I'm gonna subscribe this month because this, and this is coming to Game Pass. Cool. But then after that month, bro, get the fuck out of there. Stop dumping money away for like one singular like $20 indie game that you're like slightly interested in. Bro, go buy the indie game at that point. You know what I mean? Like it only works if it's very situational, in which you choose to indulge in Game Pass. And even now, bro, with the prices now, I don't know, bro. It's crazy. It is crazy. And then if you have an Xbox, bro, you're stuck having to fucking pay for Game Pass if you want to play anything multiplayer that isn't free to play. It's shitty. It's so shitty to be stuck on a console. Like, it really does suck. With the price now, Game Pass is not worth it. And honestly, Leo, I feel you there. I don't think that it is worth it. And I think, and the fact that you have to really, like, the only way for you to be like, well, I can kind of make it work for me, is to be very, very, like, on top of, like, unsubscribing, immediately. Like, at that point, it's like, are you really enjoying gaming when you have to be so anal about when you're choosing to spend this money? Like, it makes it such a not fun experience. It's shitty to be stuck on a console like me. Even my retro consoles became better because I modded them with a PC. Hey man, you're making it work for you the best that you absolutely can, and it sucks. It sucks that you are stuck, bro. It's crazy shit, man. It is crazy. Keep in mind, once the Xbox servers go down, the Xbox One and Series consoles become e-waste. You're not lying, bro. I feel as though they will. And look, this is me giving them the benefit of the doubt, right? So, for example, Steam has a kill switch for DRM. That, if Steam were to go down, right? If Steam was going to shut down, there's a DRM kill switch that they could turn that shit off, right? Whether they do or not, who the fuck knows, right? At the end of the day, right? I'm not gonna just assume a major corporation is going to be working in my best interest, right? But I feel as though other corporations would have to instill some form of kill switch if they were gonna do that, and at least they technically could. So don't assume that they will.
If you still think that's worth it for you to spend on Game Pass, so be it. I don't see the value there anymore, especially at that price tag. I think it's way overinflated.
That's it.
You especially when you look at the type of games. For me anyway, the South of Midnights, the Avoweds, it does nothing for me. Even Forza Horizon, I'm not a big racing guy, so I'm not in that camp, but I understand.
That's crazy because if you know anything about Fonz, he's so big on like open world RPG games. The fact that stuff like Avowed is like such a disgust, like he's so disgusting to him is wild.
Those who are, but I just kind of tell people to really think about those of you that are one of those guys that are set it and forget it people and just like are going to pay the $30 every month. Really think about maybe taking that out and just buying whatever month you want for whatever game is you really want to try or play. Because I know that that's what they rely on. They rely on people to set it and forget it. And it's just, that's not cool with some of the offerings that you have for a lot of people out there, especially at $30. I would go on to say that most gamers now don't see it really as a big value. I mean, Paris himself was the guy saying that it was the best value in gaming. He no longer says that because of that price tag.
No, that's a problem,
bro. And a lot of people are saying like Xbox dudes are still in on it. Xbox dudes are still in on it. A lot of Xbox dudes are falling the fuck back. A lot of them are. And I hope to at least convince others that are still like I had one dude, Emmanuel, and Emmanuel's been a subscriber for the channel for a long time, but Emmanuel got very mad at the video I put out the other day. And he called me a liar. And I didn't really take too kindly to that. I chose to have a reasonable response for that. But I hope to at least open the eyes of people to have a conversation about what's going on, and to ask some fucking questions instead of just, defending Xbox's, what legs they still have to stand on. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to fucking shit on Xbox, but you have to be willing to have a conversation about what's going on and where the future entails for this company and gaming. So that's what I'm hoping to do with having this conversation, because I do have, bro, I have no interest in receiving any freebies from any of these fucking companies. It literally does not matter to me. It never will matter. If anything, I do everything to turn them the fuck off from even paying me any mind whatsoever, right? I just want to make sure that we understand the severity of where things are headed, because this is our favorite hobby, right? I want to protect, preserve, and really truly have real conversations about where our hobby is headed.
Problem though too is that Game Pass now, the one thing that everyone can point to as being like, hey, the best value in consumerism. I would even go that far at that.
I believe Steam isn't going to have DRM free unless GOG becomes more popular than them, which is not happening anytime soon. For GOG to become more than Steam, they have to start offering more to keep the goodwill for another decade. I think that Steam, instead of doing more doing more pro-consumer shit, like getting rid of DRM on their site, I think that Epic Games is what's keeping them from deciding to do that. Cassie Soul died to cringe, absolutely.
At one point, Now you
Same.
kind of like throw that out the window, and now it's like, okay, well, I could just buy my games outright, and you're back to square one. And again, you're another pivot, like yet another pivot. They were
Mhm.
estimating projections of 70 million by 2027 and 100 million by 2030. Absolutely not happening now. They
And
realize that.
maybe you know this, Tim. Next year, I see this totally happening now, especially with the $30 a month for Game Pass. Next year, we're going to have $80 Xbox games. It's going to happen
Yeah,
because they're going to
that's
make it
good.
look
Forza
more like a
Horizon.
value now. They're going to make it
Yeah,
look like a
well,
value with Game Pass.
exactly.
Ugh.
Right. So
Ugh.
yeah,
Bro, so it'd be so gross, man. It is so gross. I don't know what to say other than like obviously fuck no. What else is there to say?
the gaming is the whole thing is going up and more expensive. But this is what Magnus. You have to realize if it does happen, I believe you're going to go fully digital. That's happening 100%. That's a
Easily,
reality. You're going
100%.
to be dealing with either $1,000 price tag. I think it's going to be 1,200. Okay,
He
but it
thinks
will
it
be the most powerful
what,
console. We'll have certain things that
bro? He thinks the next Xbox console is gonna be a $1,200 device. That's insane, bro. That is insane. That, bro, if that happens, oh my god.
have availability. But you're going to now your market is now 1,200. Retailers, you're most likely going to sell it on their own site, and they'll probably pick somebody like Best Buy and have some type of deal with there. It's not going to be massively available.
Yeah.
Things like, are they going to just now make a Windows version of a game?
Have you
And
seen the
are they
specs
going to
cast?
support
No,
the S, meaning
I don't
that
know any of the
the games that
details.
come out in 2028, let's just say, they're not because the S at that point, I would think that it would be specced out, or you really wouldn't,
Everything
it's a
becoming
headache
digital
already.
and being sold a license for games with no protection to own it after removal.
Yeah.
The future of gaming looks hella bleak if we can't get any protection aside from GOG.
B Psalms, you're speaking facts right now, brother. I appreciate the 10, and this is important things to voice 100%. And I mostly buy digital now, which is crazy to say, right? Because I used to be physical media collector heavy. I used to buy digital games a lot last gen, but I still was very, very adamant on buying physical copies of the bigger titles. So that was my bag. But it is scary to think where digital media is headed, and how it could potentially be torn away from us. So there's a lot of that concern with that.
They're gonna,
Thank you for the
they're
10,
gonna
bro.
tell you, hey, you want to play S? You want to play Blade, or you want to play?
Oh, Mason, I bought the $80 version of the Order 1886. Bro, remember when you could pay $80 for a collector's edition and get a statue with it? Remember that? $80 collector's fucking statue of the Order 1886. I still have the steel book. Matter of fact, the Order 1886 steel book is still my coaster for where I'm sitting when I sit at my recliner. I still put my drinks on that fucking garbage ass fucking steel book coaster. You know.
Forza Horizon 7? Play it on the cloud, sir.
Yep, it also did come with a copy with the game.
They're gonna do stuff
Absolutely.
like that, and they're not gonna care. Listen, if
I have
anything that this whole thing taught, just let me make this point. If anything this all taught you about this whole Game Pass thing is that they do not care anymore what you say. They are going to do whatever they want, no
Yep.
matter how much you say you're
Yep.
canceling. You basically tested it and put it to test, and they basically gave you your answer. They don't care. They're doing what they want.
I have a good friend of mine who is pretty popular on YouTube.
Oh man,
It's not
Nissan,
Colton,
no.
it's another guy. He's told me that he feels like Xbox might go down the route of putting out a Game Pass version that's free but filled with ads within the game.
We still
that's
get
happening,
statues in
100%.
Sony games.
100%. That was
Because he
talked
was
Yeah,
about.
for
telling because
insane
he was
That
telling
was
prices.
yeah,
But
yes,
that's
that's how.
true. You do.
I was told that's going to be the cloud entry one.
Bill also bringing up a good point in chat. Even physical copies may not work right without getting patched. It's not like a movie or a book where it's a fixed thing. Absolutely. Most of these games do need at least a day one patch in order to fucking work out the kinks. that you could still play these games. A lot of them will still boot and a lot of them will still be playable, but that experience on a disc, a lot of it is nasty work without a day one patch. That is a fact.
That was talked about at it was at the time it was a meeting with Phil. Cognito was there. Maddie Plays was there. A bunch of other people, and basically they were talking about barrier to entry to barrier basically, and that basically is a tier of. And we discussed it actually as a group with Phil over dinner, and we went to the Chop House in New York City, and it was a meeting that nobody knew about. It was basically what was under the assumption that nobody talks about it. Nobody did really. It was just stuff that was talked about. Boom asked about, Boomstick asked about Banjo, and I actually think I was talking about this. This was a tier. So there's going to be a tier that's basically a free tier, I believe, and you have a certain amount of time that you can play a month. It's basically a demo thing, and it's going to be. They might have even a cheap tier that you have cloud access, and that's the barrier to entry. I don't know if that's not the word that they use, but they use like a way to get people in the market that are like cell phone users, like people that don't want to have a console, don't want to have a PC, but they want to play on their phone, or they want to play off the cloud, cast it to the cast.
So, PlayStation Gamer, good point with the damage to discs. So, um, I will say this. Yes, disc damage can always happen over time, wear and tear, 100%. The good thing about Blu-rays though is that they are definitely more protective than PS2 discs, for example, or PS1 disc. It is actually really hard to damage a Blu-ray disc as opposed to PS1, PS2, so on and so forth. Wear and tear does happen. That is why, over time everything will die. Right? Your hard drives will die, your discs will fucking disintegrate, whatever have you. Um, but as long as you take relative care of where you place your discs, them shits will last a long fucking time. Basically, any discs that you're collecting now, they will exist and still work by the time you die. All right, a lot of my discs that I still have, PS2, PS4, as long as I take care of them and I do keep them in a relatively room temperature spot, um, look, man, whoever gets them shits after I died, they'll be playing that shit. You know, them shits could last more than 25 years, Philip. They definitely last. A lot of the shit that I have is over 25 years old now. So as long as you take care of that shit, um look, man, by the time when I die, you think I don't give a fuck about you know what I mean? Like at that point, but at least you can still preserve the disc and rip them. And 25 plus, yes, Philip, absolutely. That's fair. My bad on that. See, Philip knows more than me, bro. I'm an idiot. But yeah, at least you have a hard copy of this, of this software that you have access to that can be ripped from. So I still have hope for gaming, but I'm not blind. Casually optimistic is the best way to sum up my feelings about gaming, and that's fair. It's good to, obviously I'm the type of person, I can only deal with certain things for so long before I'm like, all right, I can't be getting too depressed. I got to take a step back. You know what I mean? So I understand that for sure, but I'm always, there's that side of me that's always skeptical, that's always asking questions, that's always generally untrusting. And so that's just the type of person that I am for sure. And it's good to at least be open-minded. We don't have to agree, but we're having conversation, we're having discussion, and that's what's important. I personally don't like optical media discs, so I don't understand why these consoles use the same cartridge Nintendo did. It would make a smaller why these consoles didn't use the same cartridges Nintendo did. It would take a smaller space and still work. Well, it depends on which ones you're talking about. If we're talking about between Blu-ray and Nintendo Switch cartridge, I mean, Nintendo Switch cartridge takes more money. it does take more money, and it seems as though the same results are the same results, generally speaking, depending on how much data you have, but it's just more money, bro. These companies are so fucking cheap. They don't even want to produce disc media anymore. Because of how cheap they are. They're so disgusting, man. Oh, these companies disgust the fuck out of me. But also I will say, what was I gonna say? Back in the day, I mean, shit, PS1 discs just could store so much more information than an N64 cartridge or whatever have you. It's to the point where even Nintendo was forced to switch over to a disc. So they hate work. Absolutely. Leo. See, here's the thing. When I tell you guys I'm lazy, right? I'm at least honest about it. All these companies are lazy. All these companies are looking to cut corners. Everyone I've known my entire life has always been looking to cut some corner or another. This is just natural shit. Bro, at least I'm honest about it. Y'all can't shit on me for that.
Whatever.
No, Ziggy is lazy. Me and Ziggy are the same person.
Yeah, that's 100% coming.
And
And actually, I know you're
Mind
really
fuck.
against it. I was at the when I was discussing it. In my opinion, I don't have a problem with that. I know gamers go absolutely bananas about that, but like if I'm on Xbox Game
Dude,
Pass
this is a
Ultimate, I don't
really
care
good
what everybody
discussion.
else does.
And we're not going to finish this discussion. I'm going to stream, for about 15 minutes more. I'm going to give you guys the link if you guys want to finish watching this live stream. But this is a great discussion. Good information here. And really just it's making me think more. So if you guys want to finish off this this stream, I'll give you guys obviously the timestamp on where we stop. And if you want to go finish listening to Fonz and Tim Dog by the time I end up having to leave, you're more than welcome to. I recommend it. I think I watched like the first 30 minutes of this and I'm like, yeah, this is good information. Let's run it. Right.
I'm on a Game Pass Ultimate.
Yeah.
But I know that you and I know a lot of people, I would say the majority, go bananas about this ad thing. So, but it's definitely coming.
No,
100%.
I honestly think that if you're giving something for free, well, it's not for free because again, it's going to be riddled with ads. That's something that's up to you to try to, guess if you want or not. Like, you can try.
Dude, it's going to be crazy if there is a free version of Game Pass, because that's what you're talking about here, offering like a free Game Pass that's like riddled with fucking ads. Oh, God. It's going to happen. They're going to find ways to make you settle for shit to where they could benefit. They could harvest your data. They could feed you ads, right? This is where that is the new like entry level of gaming. Scary shit, man. Free Lane Pass with only 10 games. Yeah. That'll be the entry level. I hope the Xbox App Store has an ad blocker. Little Miss Anonymous said the GameCube mini discs were awesome. Those I think should be brought back. Would be interesting, I'm not gonna lie. Or like the what I hated? The format, the physical media format I hated to death was the UMD PSP disc. Oh my god, I fucking hated those. You know how many I broke? I broke so many of them because the plastic casing would always crack and fuck up. Oh my god,
whatever.
Fucking awful.
I would
what
never
a
do
piece
it,
of shit.
I mean, for some people, it might make sense. Real quick, I want to get through some of these super chats. I had one from Glassdoor. He says, "Can't trust a dude with 2 female names. The street rides with Tim Dog. Microsoft only got into gaming because they thought PlayStation was a threat. It's not."
Well, that's true. The living room. They wanted the living room. That goes
and then
back in the day.
We've got Face 23 BKNY. I appreciate you, Glassdoor, by the way. Appreciate you too, Face. He says PS5 sales are digital 80%, 20% physical.
Oh, you're running ad blocker on your router?
It's probably further than
Fire,
that,
bro. What a fucking
even
G.
at 20%. That's on life support with physical games. If you think about it, Xbox is an American company, and we know all about those tariffs and where these discs are being pressed in China. And they don't want to pay those tariffs anymore. They don't want as much as possible anything coming from China anymore. So,
that's facts. There's just a lot of cut ties with physical stuff being made in China. I got a modded PSP with games built in. Ooh, because having to have all the discs suck. That is just annoyingly noisy, dude. Oh, if only PSP had a second. Dude, if the PSP had 2 thumbsticks, oh my god. I would be a PSP dick eater. Straight up. But I can't. I actually hate the PSP. I hate it. Just you Brave browser. I use Opera and I have VPN up.
They don't want to spend on that, so I could see them going totally digital. I could see that even
Opera has a
happening for
built-in
Sony
VPN. Love it.
That's
next
definitely
generation.
Absolutely love it.
Lord Metroid, thank you for being a member for 29 months. He says, great conversation, gentlemen. Love this channel. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Yeah, the thing is like this console, talking about if it does come out, this Magnus. One thing that could be really good about it too is the fact
System
that
or
it
the
is
games.
basically a PC. And that
The overall system design of not having a second thumbstick because it affects how the games play, it is just so fucking awful to me. I love Vita way more than I ever loved PSP. There was a few games that I enjoyed on PSP, but I also really loved shooters. And playing like shooters on PSP was fucking awful. Oh my god, especially like, dude, I remember trying to play like SOCOM on PSP, and I gave up and fucking what was it? Um Brothers in Arms on PSP. Oh my god. Fucking I tried to convince myself. I tried so hard. I couldn't do it. I couldn't gaslight myself, man. I couldn't do it. I did love my PS Vita OLED model. Oh, dude, I loved it until it died for whatever reason. Probably got fried from using a third-party charger. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me, man. That or just wear and tear.
you'll be able to access all your games there, and it'll be a lower entry price than even the lowest like decent PC out there. Like the mid-range PCs and
By
stuff.
far,
And it'll still run really, really competitively.
Yes,
The possibility
very
there
true.
could be a very good machine. I will give it that. So even somebody who say is not necessarily an Xbox guy, he might buy into it thinking, oh, well, this is the cheapest entry point into PC that has decent quality
Yup.
specs.
Leo
And
facts.
that could happen. And
There was like
that's where I
a
think they can
plug-in
benefit. And that's
on
why I
Vita.
say,
Never got
even though it's
used.
not your traditional Xbox and this is more Microsoft gaming, if they could build that for you and put it out at, say, a $1,200 price point, I think that would be pretty darn good for, say, like
too.
mid-range performance.
I think it would be
I'm
an
good on
excellent. I think
that,
it's an
bro.
excellent idea. I think it's a good. Well, I didn't say excellent, but I think it's a
I just think with the direction that Xbox is likely going, I just don't want to support them in any way, shape, or form. I just don't feel comfortable. Oh yeah, brothers in arms, baby.
a good idea, but it also the problem lies in again with management. You need first of all, if they're doing this, 100% Phil's not heading this. 100%. It's not Phil. It's not Sarah either. I think they're
No,
both out
you've
of
already
favor
said
right now.
earlier you think Phil's retiring soon.
Yeah. So
Mm.
you would need you need somebody to communicate this, even though they're not talking. You need to communicate this because it does have a lot of potential. It does have a market that they need to communicate to. So they need to communicate to people like me and you. We can understand it. Okay, yeah, it's you know what? We're gonna just bite the bullet. It's $1,200. It's whatever. We're gonna get it. We get Xbox. We get Steam. Not really. We're not the problem. Like we're gonna be
You're not
into it.
lying, Mason.
Now the person
You're
that
not
wants to
lying.
buy a PC for gaming now looks at the pre-built and doesn't really understand what that is, what the Magnus is. They have to communicate that to that person. Meaning, like somebody who is a gamer or kids are now looking at gaming and stuff like that, and they're like, okay, I'm going to buy a pre-built. You could go online right now.
Well,
What are they? 1,800, 1,900? Oh, they're
Leo, I'm
way
waiting for the
overpriced.
day,
well,
brother.
you can buy a pretty decent one for, say, around $1,500 now.
Okay, so that person that's looking at the 1,500 Dell right now, they want to get that person to buy the
Dell?
Magnus. So how are you going to communicate to them?
I think the way they do it, though, is they still market this thing as a console. They still push
See,
it
and
in
then
that
there's
way.
the problem. So here's the problem, though,
Then that's the
Tom.
lie.
It's an expensive console. Exactly.
It's an
That's a huge
expensive
problem.
console, and it's a confusing proposition
Yeah.
to like, okay, like what the F is this? Okay, is it a PC?
Ugh.
No, I'll just get the PC. So, and then also another problem, and I said this to you yesterday, was okay, if Xbox is doing this, why the hell isn't Steam doing this? Because Steam really has the inside track for this. This is right up Steam's alley because they could do it themselves. And they did what? They did the Steam box, right? But
Yep.
this is now a different idea. And then somebody said that I think I talked to this with several people. They said that they are doing that. That's another thing. Now you're in. So you're getting away from Sony, which now you're getting away from that, which is good because Sony is now like they've asserted dominance. Not even a question. There's no more console wars, guys. It's over. Like, don't even talk to me about that stuff. Completely
Yeah.
over. I don't want to.
Can't go over there,
It's not.
Ziggy.
It's not relevant anymore.
Can't
It
go
truly
stepping on
isn't.
my stuff,
But
bro.
now you have Steam as a potential
Oh my
competitor,
god.
and in my opinion, they got a real problem if they're a competitor. But now supposedly you can have access to Steam storefront and all that stuff. Is Steam Machine gonna have access to? I guess they would just have Steam, but like it just becomes something again where you're in this spot.
Bro, I don't know, bro. I mean, I'm super biased towards Steam. I'm super fucking biased. 100%. I'm biased as fuck towards Steam. I would buy a Steam box over anything Microsoft PC related easily. Um, and that's just me. Even at the expense of it being like a Linux box, I still would rather have that. That's just how I feel. But yeah, it also depends on price and what we're getting versus, whatever. Um, I get that too.
Where you're doing something, but your communication and your messaging has always been
Then
horrific.
isn't it expense? It's
Are
a
you really going
feature.
to message this? And then that all harkens back to what I've always said.
Fair
Like
point.
they're
Fair
just
point.
not built for this.
Yeah.
It's like
Well,
that's why I'm so negative on it. It's like what Kotig told Satya, and he had that moment. He goes, he's like, you should just get out of gaming, Satya. You
yeah,
remember they told that story, and I agree with that.
it's honestly that's what's going to be the biggest hurdle with with this console, especially if it's at a steep price point at over $1,000. Even if
Oh
it,
my god, over
let's say,
$1,000
even
console.
rivals a mid-range PC at
Disgusting.
that time. The problem is trying to market that thing
So
because
disgusting,
the
bro.
Alienware and Valve
Yeah.
both tried it back in 2015, 2014, and they failed because at that time, it was just too expensive for this small form factor PC that people just didn't believe in. And what do we have a
Yeah.
problem right now with Xbox? It's that trust. It's people not believing in
Yeah.
Xbox.
The messaging,
So
which
the
is now
messaging has been horrible.
gone.
The marketing has been horrible.
Yeah.
So it's a tall task for them. And this is one of the reasons why, and I don't say this, I don't say, oh, because Tim says that he's heard that it's up in the air about this console, that I believe that it's not coming out. I'm more in line thinking that I'm more 60-40 that it is coming out. Anything could happen, and it might not. That's why I'm giving it like 60-40. I think it can. But I think they're going to have a big problem with marketing this thing, the messaging on this thing, the selling of this.
Oh yeah, just the dude. Xbox is the worst at marketing. They have no idea what the fuck. They will blunt. Even if there was a clear path, they would still fuck it up.
Thing because again, if you
Yeah,
promote
Sony
this
is
as
wasting
your
their IP,
console, your next
Cyborg.
console, it prices most console gamers out. Period.
100%.
And they'll just buy a
This is-
PS6.
I have to say, Fonz, this has been a really, really good conversation. And if anybody's really serious at Microsoft, at gaming, they would be listening to this. And I mean that not in a way of like patting ourselves, because I think we are two industry guys like that talked about the industry that are really
It's
knowledgeable
just
about this.
because
And
we're
this
just a part of it.
conversation,
It's
yes, right.
It's almost like common sense though at this point,
Right.
for us.
But
Like
so now what we're talking about this last 10 minutes of conversation, these are the conversation that within Microsoft Gaming, I'm not even calling it Xbox anymore.
same.
Within
same.
Microsoft Gaming that they're having. So like the stuff that we're talking about now, how are we going to communicate this? How are we going to market it? You think that they're just not doing that? They're talking about this stuff. Yeah, it's on the table. Yes, there are meetings going on at a low level with that MLD Moore's Law talked about. That is all true. But now you're talking about like the bigger heads, like the real executive guys and the decision makers. And they're like, okay, well, how are we going to market this? And I'm of the opinion you gave 60-40. I'm 37 that they're just going to say, no way. Because I can't figure out a fucking way to, and I don't like cursing on your podcast, but I'll try not to, but I don't like doing that. I cannot think for the life of me, and I've tried, like, how could we position this? Like, okay, first things first, they need new leadership. I think that's obvious. Who's going to be that leadership? That's my first question.
Oh yeah,
Who
Microsoft
can do this?
definitely.
Do we have any suggestions? I don't even think certain people would even take it. Like if you knocked on Sean Layden's door, you'd be like, I'm not dealing with that. I don't like Game Pass. I'd get rid of Game Pass, whatever. So they need new leadership. Then they need to rebuild their.
Well, they need to find a figurehead that is likable. That's the first thing they need to do, because Phil Spencer has expended all of his goodwill, and he's just like, people don't trust him. How do you find somebody that is going to pitch what will likely be the most egregious change in how we engage with video games forever? that's the difficult thing off rip. I mean, I think Sarah Bond was a good find in a sense of she comes off as likable. She's a woman. She's pretty. You know, I don't know, bro. They're gonna have to bring up I don't know who the fuck can they bring up, bro. They have to go in their bag more with a woman that's like I don't know. Fawn says, hey, I actually kind of like that. Cassie's listening to our audience. Thank you for exposing myself to your audience, Cass. No, definitely. We're not going to be able to finish this because I have to actually leave in a few minutes. But I definitely encourage you guys to finish watching this on your own time. Obviously, I'm going to link this podcast in here because, you know, a lot of us want to learn more about the future of Xbox and gaming. Like, we're obviously curious for either just curiosity's sake or for fear of what's coming, right? So it's good to this is a great show, Fonz. Like, to have Tim Dog on. And as much as I don't really care for Tim Dog, I don't hate him, I don't love him. I think that he definitely was a silly fuck back in the day, but he definitely did have, you know, communication going on. So like that can't be denied. I get shit wrong sometimes, like anyone else, but I still try to keep shit around here. Real, absolutely. And that's why I'll always have respect for you because you always want to be about the truth, first and foremost, and whatever that is, right? You're not like delusional, and you're not trying to fool your audience and all that. So when I do get it wrong, I always own it. Absolutely, 100%. What Fonz is saying, I totally, dude. I back it 100%. Fonz is one of the truest people in that I've met. And to be honest with you, trying to be friends with like streamers in this space is like I don't even know how to explain it, bro. It's like oh man, it's like going through the Playboy Mansion trying not to get AIDS without a condom. I mean, what? You know, but Foz is one of those people that he's just straight up as fuck, man. I highly recommend Fonz Gaming, 100%.
Brand image.
Oh,
Okay, because we can
100%.
all agree it's broken. So they need somebody to say, okay, and that's why I'm at 3070 is because how do you do that?
As
Okay.
Texas Lean said in the chat, it's kind of a recipe for failure.
Exactly. That's the way I kind of feel. So that's
Yeah.
why I'm so. I think the word's dogmatic about it. Like I just feel like there's no helping this. Now, if there is a positive side of me, I do like the idea. I just don't know how they can communicate it. I don't know how they can get this brand image that they have right now going and this sense of confusion that's surrounding it. They have to clear that. How do they wipe that? One way is to get new leadership. And then that new leadership, which this might be happening right now, is now in discussions, and Phil's on his way out, and so is Sarah.
Oh yeah, you could tell that they're on their last leg, but who's gonna replace them? You know, like how do you? Phil Spencer has outserved his usefulness is I guess the term that they say for it. He's out. Yeah, he's definitely he's expired his usefulness. Let's just leave it at that. So he's done. Sarah Bond, I don't know. I think that they have sabotaged Sarah Bond in a sense that they put her in so many crazy ass positions. Her saying some insane ass shit, and people already caught on to that too. So yeah, I think they do need some new leadership there for sure. And Fawn says I'm too old to be gaslit. Yo, for real though, right? And honestly, like for me, I've always been a very untrusting person in the industry, and like I said, I came up with no interest in being friends with any of these companies. All right, I pulled up hating these dudes off, like these companies off rip, and you know, it is what it is. I don't want to be overly negative, but you're not gonna just win me over with your bullshit either. You know what I mean? Like when it comes to what the next thing to peddle is. But guys, I definitely look. We're at we're at what, an hour 30? I think we're an hour and 35 minutes into this podcast, Fonz's podcast, his live stream with Tim Dog. I highly recommend watching the rest of it, man. I'm interested to hear more of your thoughts. So here is the link to the podcast if you guys want to really just get the remainder of what they're thinking and where Xbox is headed. Go check out Fonz Gamer, bro. Go subscribe to his channel. He has a great podcast with Hargeet Chennai. Love Hargeet as well. He's a real chill dude. And it's if you want some real people that really want to talk gaming and really want to get to the crux of what's been going on and what we think the future is headed, I highly recommend checking out Fonz, bro. He's definitely one of the realest people that I've always had respect for in the space. Fonz says, and too old to be trying to manipulate an audience to like me. Either you get me or you don't. I've lost a lot of subs this last year than ever before, but I'd rather lose them and keep my integrity. And that's what I see in UCAS integrity. I appreciate that so much. It's crazy because the past like the past year, it's like all the dog whistles and all of the I've been called the most insane shit. And it's like, dude, I'm just like an old school fucking gamer that, I got a little bit of my fuck shit to me, 100%. Like, honestly, if you call me an asshole, that'd be the most honest thing you'd say about me, right? Because, like, I came from 360 being like the funny shit talker, like all that stuff. And I love that side of gaming, even if it's toxic, right? Like, I've been honest in saying, like, yeah, I enjoy the toxicity of gaming, 100%. But I'm not here to lie. I'm not here to, I've been called a grifter an insane amount of times. Like, dude, I just want to fucking have fun in gaming. And it's the most basic thing ever, right? Grandma asshole, we getting there. We definitely getting there. And, I'm scared for where the industry is headed because we've seen so many different, like, there's so many less ways for us to engage in gaming, and there's so many new options that all these companies have to sell us a lie. And I've noticed this. Like, I've noticed this is a big reason why I started my YouTube channel, raising my concerns, talking about my interests and stuff. We're at a strategic disadvantage, and then once AI comes into play, I feel like we're completely screwed, man. I feel like AI is going to be the key in these companies strategizing how to take advantage of us more than ever, because we can't outcompete how artificial intelligence can dissect how to fuck us over. It's really, we're at such a disadvantage in that perspective. And I just want to have like a camaraderie to preserve gaming, like the fun of it and all that. Even if it is a little toxic, even if there's a little bit of fuck shit, like that's just me, and I've always been that way. Now you're real. Thank you, bro. I appreciate it so much. But once again, guys, definitely check out Fonz Gaming. Like I said, it was a good podcast. I had to listen to the first 30 minutes. I'm like, yo, we have to react to this. It's gonna be entertaining. But once again, if you guys want to finish it up, definitely go there. Check out the rest of the podcast. We're an hour 35 into it. And go hit the like button for Fonz, man. Go support him any way you guys can. He's a dude that I completely, totally co-sign because he's always been real as fuck. He doesn't, like, he's a guy, he's just here to talk about it. He's not really, like, desperate to grow his channel. Like, nah, he's just really fucking chill, dude. Support small indie companies. Go for retro gaming and indies. Yeah, that's one thing I absolutely do. Dude, I buy so many indie games, and some of them I don't even get to until like a year or two later. But like I see the vision, and I always want to support. So I have to listen to some more of this stuff. Miss Bella, 100%. I do recommend. I do 100% recommend. The side cap is not a side cap in fully. baby face turn coming. No, the side cap is just me purposely doing the most obnoxious thing possible. Like, I purposely do things just because I know that they come off obnoxious. I'm not gonna lie. Like, what? I'm just like, what could be more obnoxious than wearing the hat backwards? Well, wearing it sideways, motherfucker, of course. Professional brat. What could I say? But homework time, chat, guys. We're gonna let me see who we're gonna raid real quick. We're gonna raid out of here. But I do gotta go to work. Sadly, you guys know that I would love to run another 10 out. No, I'm just joking. I'm not gonna lie. That shit takes a lot out of me. But we will be back tomorrow, right? Thursday, obviously, Cage Day is gonna be fun. I'm excited to jump into all the stuff, right? There's a lot of stuff to talk about. Raid Ziggy. Oh man. The Ziggy needs his own channel, that's a fact. We're gonna raid Hypnotic since he raided me earlier. Gotta show homie some love, right? But go say hi to Hypnotic for me. Go hit the like button, go support the homie. Hey, thank you, Miss Bella, for being here. Arctic, thank you. Leo, Mason, Cyborg, Sir Duckman, Fonz for chilling with us in the chat. It was really cool getting, a little more of your, a little more info and just getting your thoughts, and appreciate you, supporting as always, man. Philip, thank you so much. Thank you so much to all the mods. Lou Flame, 78 Inc., thank you. You guys are amazing. Have a great, safe rest of your day. I'll see you guys tomorrow, 8 p.m. EST as per usual. Robert, much love to y'all. Peace.